Futures relatively unchanged here. Just getting the CPI data for January. The month-over-month number here, 0.6% versus 0.5% expected. 7.5 versus 7.3 on the year-over-year number. So that is higher than expected, guys, on January inflation. Going to be an interesting reaction here as futures making moves here as a result. Again, if you're just joining, 7.5% there versus 7.3 on the year-over-year number will be the one that is mostly in focus here as we continue along. Welcome. Going to be an interesting day overall as we walk through this inflation data. We got the weekly jobless claims out there as well. A little bit lower than expected on the weekly jobless claims. Markets coming off, though, pretty positive performance yesterday. 2 days in a row back to the upside. In fact, led once again by tech stocks. We had the NASDAQ up more than 2% at the end of the day yesterday, both the S&P and Dow. Also in positive territory. All about positive earnings today. Big earnings beats from Disney, from Uber, Twitter, Twilio, Datadog, all in positive territory this morning with this number, though. We'll see if there's any follow-through whatsoever. It's Thursday, February 10th, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at, big move down there for the futures as expected off that number. It's closer to 0.5% and falling as we speak right now. The Dow hanging on to basically break even. We're negative on the NASDAQ as well, 0.8 to the downside. The TSX futures here in Toronto in the red already as well. Everything else kind of choppy to start. Let's jump right into this, guys, because it's going to be a busy day here. Again, the year-over-year number is the one that everyone will be focusing on this morning, 7.5% versus 7.3 expected. So that is higher to the upside. I mean, the month-over-month number basically in line, 0.6 versus 0.5. But this is what we were anticipating this week.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. And this is what happens when you get we knew CPI was going to possibly change the morning, and you can lay out your plans and levels and things like that. But on a day like today, down like over 1% now on the NASDAQ and starting to accelerate a little bit. Well, actually, maybe starting to even slow down a little bit now that we get to this 14.86. But look, that year-over-year number big. It's disappointment for sure for a lot, but there were. Look, a lot of people, including I even believe the administration, saying this was going to be a hot number. So there was some expectation this would be the case. Obviously, it's going to be bad for some of the growth names because this is going to signal that the Fed might be behind the curve. I'm going to wager a guess that the odds of not a quarter point, but an actual a half point hike, which has been sitting around a quarter to a third of a chance, that might be going up today. Obviously, so we're going to be tracking that because that's the implication, right? The Fed's behind the curve and they might have to move a little bit more aggressively. Still going to be a lot to look at. There was a host of earnings, which for the most part, look, overnight, most of the earnings were good. In terms, and the reaction by most of the stocks were actually moving to the upside, even on the ones that were marginal. So that's being reversed as we speak because of CPI.
Yeah, Twitter's coming. I mean, the reports weren't great. I mean, we did have a great one from Disney. What's up, guys? I should take a sip after this. I just did want to look here because you're right about the growth stocks. I just called up ARK right away. ARK yesterday in the afternoon was $78 after market there on some of those big beats. We saw Twilio beat. We saw Datadog beat. We know ARK is all over those names. So a big move to the. I love Twilio too. I bought that stock on IPO, sub $30. That was a great one. I don't know. And I only bought it because we use the software here, so it's crazy. But okay, $78 up there, and then you can see what it did on that number, Brendan, from 77 all the way down to 74 now. So they just got chopped pretty badly there. Obviously, as CPI goes up, it does hurt those growth names. Not only that, it does signal, of course, that the Fed, although we already know what they're going to do, it doesn't give them any need to pause their hawkish behavior. So I feel like Yep, we are going to get obviously those rates now getting raised in March. We could probably go to the Fed rate tool. That'll probably be updated within the hour, I would assume, or presently. And I bet you it's close to 100% there now for 50 points. So let's wait to see what happens. Now the dollar just rises to 1 week high. I think the 10-year was 196 or something like that. So that's also starting to go to the high side as well. But yeah, not a great number, but we'll get into some earnings. And we have the sticky notes up there. Thanks for harassing me on the chat. It's there. It's tardy today. Ran into an old friend that's in the building now. We don't even have our employees back yet.
I
so
know.
it was nice to see one of them there in the chat. And it just happens to be that he's part of compliance. So I got to butter that guy up. You know what I'm saying? So
your best friends in trading are always,
right. So screw you,
buy
sticky
compliance,
note.
a coffee.
Yeah, exactly. So we grabbed the coffee there and had a little talk, and everything is good.
Big move. Here's the U.S. 10-year, guys, you were mentioning there, Sean. 1 week highs, at least, or multi-month highs, but we were up to about 197 yesterday, early morning. We're at 199 and change right now on the U.S. 10-year, so 2% incoming for that. As you said, the U.S. dollar also making big moves back to the upside. We'll keep an eye on the overall market here still. Kind of coming off a little bit. There was news on AMD there just before we came on. They've got all the approvals for the Xilinx deal. It's not going to matter now. I mean, we're all the chip stocks moving to the downside. Already 2.5% here for AMD. Miss V still on vacation. She'll be back in the building Tuesday next week, guys. Let's jump right into what to expect here today. It's 4.3. So it went from about 0.25%. It was about 28. I think on the percent for a half increase in March. It's now up to 4.3 as far as whether they go 0.5%, whether they go 0.25%. So, I mean, it's going to be all about the overall market today, as we said. Lots of positive individual news, but with the market moving back to the downside here, going to be a tough call.
Yeah, and look, somebody I saw in the chat, someone was like, "What's that red candle on Ether?" And it's, what's the red candle on everything? Right, like it doesn't matter. I could show you the red candle on Ether. I could show you if I.
I mean, it went down $100 from 32.50 to 30.
Compared to what some of the growth names just did, like it's a drop in the bucket. Like that's just all CPI, right? It's a risk-off kind of thing. So
I mean, we can't really talk about a 1% move in crypto again.
No,
we're worried about that, but it is a move down.
Like okay, look at the candle in Square, or
this might be time to go shopping
Block,
right now.
Like Block just went down $4. Nvidia, like, and again, I could pick anything. It doesn't really matter actually. Nvidia just dropped $6 from 65 down to 59. AMD would be the same thing. Twilio, which had their earnings, would be the same thing. And it's just a risk. It's the higher valuation names. Like Twilio had a great report. They're still not making money. Like they're actually not profitable, and that's why you're going to see a pullback, despite the great growth that they had. So just about everything on my board pulled back. $1 move on Snapchat. That pulled back $1, and that's what's going to happen when you get moves like this. Obviously, where there's a little bit of a bounce as the futures are trying to make a bottom here. But you got to have things settle down a little bit. We still have plenty of time until the open. This is what I meant, Snapchat going down $1. Yeah, the bids just drop out. Who's going to be on the bid in front of that? It'll settle down some of these names. Volume will start to pick up, and we'll get a sense of where we're going. But there's going to be a heck of a lot to cover. I mean, some of these names are holding gains. And threatening some pretty key levels here. I'm looking at Uber, like it's just trying to hold those pre-market lows where it bounced. And then there's even a couple of small caps to get into, including one name that we got the company wrong, infamously on our show, that every time it comes up, I enjoy. IronNet.
Oh, IronNet. Yeah, I thought it was going to be that Datadog. We wrote down dog as the symbol, but it's DDOG, their little spell check situation. So I am going shopping right now, and it's a very, very small shopping list, but it's not very many shares, but it is PayPal long at this 122. I just tweeted it out. You can follow me on Twitter at TraderTV Sean. We are now long 122.15, and we'll just see if it floats back upside. We loved the action in PayPal yesterday. We were long down here 120. We got out 122. Let it flow all the way up to 124. We didn't have any of this, but it went all the way to 124 before stopping. There it is. I mean, we'll pick it up right down there, 122.15. It's now printing back into 37s. We're going to offer up here, see if we can make $1 or so on this one. And let's hope that PayPal has a good day. It's going to be hard to judge these futures, obviously, but I think it was pretty prudent to go shopping a little bit on that move down. So we did that on a name that I was looking at. It didn't make my sticky note today, but it should have. I don't know why I don't have it on there. But I am now long PayPal, and we'll see. Looking to get more if it comes down sub 122.
Is where what was good is now kind of bad. What was bad might now be kind of good. Coke was lower before that number. Now we're right back up here. So up 0.5%. They reported as well in the pre-market. The initial move down to 60, back to 61.5 though, guys, trying to hold key levels for Coke, which could be a pretty good name here.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you think about the names that are defensive, that kind of a thing, are going to get. They're going to go the other way in a raising rate environment. Now, Coke, it wasn't the greatest earnings, and sometimes it's just about something that holds up nicely on that number. In the chat was pointed out that Disney actually didn't fall as much. They had the good earnings beat, and we'll get into Disney. It's on the watch list. Of course, their earnings were pretty good there as well. And that's the thing. Like, you try to find where relative strength will be in an event like that. Now, that'll lead you to a Coke. I would say that even despite their earnings and the fact that we just had a big market move, there's really almost no volume spike to speak of. So part of it, I think, was just almost nobody's looking at it and trading it, which might be why it didn't fall. But certainly there was some relative strength there. Bit of a disappointment for them. I like Pepsi better because it's a very, very different company, a little more diversified, so it's an easier fit in the portfolio. Ultimately. But yeah, Coke, not much pre-market volume. It is worth noting it did hold right above that long consolidation it had at about 61.25 or so. But I don't know if I'm going to see a trade there. I kind of feel like if you're going for momentum today, the moves are going to be in some of the growth names, and then finding the earnings plays that held up rather nicely. Right now, Disney looks very interesting, given that it held that low. As I mentioned, just there, like, it didn't really pull back that much. And considering how much of a gap Disney has, what it's trying to do on the daily, like, this is a 160 of this trying to break out from on the daily chart. So it's still in that range where it can try to break and take out some levels. Obviously, it gapped into resistance, and this number isn't going to help things, but it's still got a chance. It didn't exactly flush at 830.
No, I don't have. Coke is not exciting enough, but for a day trade, but it's great as an investment. We talked about that yesterday. We talked about you talked about Pepsi. I talked about Berkshire, and they're basically both the same as far as Berkshire owns Coke and Pepsi is Pepsi. So, but here's the cues on that move down, and just so everybody can calm down here. We're down 1%. I mean, yesterday, the last couple of days were really nice days, and I'm a little bit nervous because see. The 50 period has trended down now. It's refusing to get back up. We were above the Qs today, the NASDAQ futures were above 15,000. That didn't last very long with a downward move here in said futures. So I'm a little nervous. That's the 200 period right here. We're right on that for the Qs. It's actually 367. So we fall back in here today. We got to hold this 355 on the NASDAQ, and we're going to come up with a rune in about 15 minutes or so about the futures. But yeah, not great. I would have loved to have stayed up there and held that 367, but it looks like we are starting to head to the dump side here. And I don't know. I have a sneaky feeling that we can retest some lows here. So I won't be shopping today or tomorrow for the long-term portfolio, but I'm a little bit nervous here with some of this reaction, especially if we don't get going here today. I like to see the NASDAQ finish at least down less than 1%.
It's been a long time since we've had a 50 period that looks like that on a daily chart for the overall market. DWAC here. I wanted to mention Twitter, guys, specifically, but in relation to DWAC, Truth Social, as we learned going back to last week, coming the end of March, confirmation yesterday on that. DWAC basically flat, not really doing much here, but I mean, Twitter can't get out of its own way at this point, I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, ad revenue numbers were a huge miss. User growth numbers were a huge miss. What does that say in relation to what's coming from DWAC?
You can play here. Like, one, I was actually joking around that Twitter reminded me of a certain company called Yahoo in some ways. It's like, back in the day, they were big and everybody was on it and using it, yet somehow they couldn't manage to make it work or succeed with it. And that's kind of what Twitter's at. It's like, It's been around a while. It's not one of the newer social media companies, and yet finding a way to monetize and profit from the people on the platform is still a challenge for them. But you can look at it two ways. One, is that bad for someone like a DWAC looking to come out with their True Social, or is it an opportunity for someone to sort of mimic the concept and do it better, and then execute a little bit better? So I don't think there's an obvious answer. That's clearly what the business plan is going to be in DWAC. We're here to trade the price action. I can tell you the same level is whatever, and the same levels are going to be valid that we're there every single day. And it's just the 85 to 87 has been resistance. It continues to be. There was a pretty significant bounce off of $80 yesterday. And then you go back a couple of days ago in the afternoon, you had the same thing. So we're exactly in the middle. That's a no-fly zone on DWAC. It's either got to pop up, get you to 85, 87, or we've got to break. Like, it's just, look at this. Look at what happens inside of this range. You're getting chopped out. Look at what happened when it broke the top of the range. It went $10, right? And look what happened when it threatened to break the bottom of the range. It was a $3 wick down, and then it came and snapped right back. So the real action and activity is either playing off of the edge for back and forth and being able to catch a few dollars in there, or waiting for it to break back out. Long term, I think it goes both ways. It would be on them to execute better than Twitter in a lot of regards. Even if you got it takes more than just people on a platform. You still have to be able to monetize. Like, that's what Twitter's problem has been. They decided to sprinkle a buyback on it and make it look better today, which to some extent worked because they're up 2.7%, but still lots of challenges.
Yeah, I don't even know what the truth is going to be. Like, honestly, I just don't know why. I know we talked about it. We started with Twitter, but I don't know why it would be a comparison with Twitter. Because
as a social media company, that's what Trump was usually the most on. In terms of a platform.
But I thought it was going to be like a website.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
No one even goes to Twitter. I don't even know, does Twitter.com even exist?
Honestly, I don't know what it's going to be either.
Yeah,
that's the comparison that gets made. But even regardless of what it ends up being, you still have to be able to monetize. My whole point is, people have called it the Twitter killer. There's a chance to execute. There's an opportunity to execute better than Twitter has, in my mind, and be able to take that engagement in those users, people that go there for news, people that go there for information, and turn that into actual money, which Twitter just can't do, man. Like, what Twitter hasn't done, I should say. Not can't do, Twitter hasn't done.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that for a website, it's obviously way easier. This is just Twitter. I was going to show you. It does have its ebbs and flows here. It's not to say that DWAC's not going to be a good investment. I mean, Twitter went from, obviously, forget about the March bottoms, but even if you take something back here in 2019 when it was $30, it did go to 80, it did go to 70, it did go to 60. We're right back here to 30 again. I just feel like the truth is going to be, the social DWAC is not going to be anything like Twitter. Twitter's only one experience out there, and it's an app, and Twitter didn't even make money when Donald Trump was on there tweeting things. When Twitter was literally on every single newscast for 4 years. It was always like, oh, this person tweeted this, and then this person tweeted back at them, and they weren't able to monetize. They were able to do absolutely nothing. So I'm just hoping that there's smarter people running, the truth, social, I guess, than there is Twitter. And that's why we had Jack Dorsey step away from Twitter. Twitter's been a cash bird for a very, very long time. I have no idea if it's going to be a successful website or not. But again, I don't really like the comparison between the two, just because I feel like Twitter is such a unique situation that, I don't know, they have so many active users and they're unable to monetize. So yeah, they need to get that figured out. But Twitter, good report last night. You're up 2.5%, which is a surprise. But look, it's a bounce. I didn't even write it on the sticky note today. It's never been a great stock for me to trade. I think we'll short if we can get up to 41.50 here on Twitter. But for right now, we do have a new position alert. I finally took Uber short here. It's on the sticky note to short the break through 42. It may not happen, so we'll wait. I mean, I really do like the short up here better. So if this happens, at least we'll have something on board. And then if not, we are waiting for an opportunity to get a hell of a lot more shares up here near 43.60, 43.50 or so. And then we did get into more PayPal. This is a stock that obviously, we're out of the money 50 cents here. Not a problem at all for me. We have the bottoms of 120 that we're still playing off of. So I'm going to wait for that to come through, put some lower bids. But if 120 breaks, like yesterday, it broke and came back. I think today's a different day, though. But we have our guest is in the building. Yes, sir. So let's go back over to Brendan.
One of our favorites, Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Groups, back in the building to discuss some opportunities on the north side of the border, up in Canadian markets. Good to see you as always. Thanks for jumping in. There's a few road closures around where we are today, so Rahim, thankful for getting here. Anyways, with this inflation number, we were just talking off camera here a little bit. It's important to have an understanding of where we should go, how we should go there. We've spoken in the past about banks obviously going to benefit the most in this type of higher interest rate environment. Let's have a little discussion here about some of the Canadian ones, because I mean these charts look amazing if you go out to a daily chart.
Yeah, the charts obviously do. I mean we're in a regime where there's the 6 big banks, quite frankly, that everyone does business with. And they're taking advantage of the fact that we are in this interest rate regime. Inflation's going to change things as we move forward, but and now the handcuffs are coming on. We've talked about this quite a bit in terms of share buybacks and dividends and things that banks can lever around. So I think we'll see a lot more of that activity continue. We're going into a very strong environment, balance sheet wise, for the big banks. And I think they're going to have to bifurcate into different revenue streams. They're going to have to look at the credit card side of things. They're going to have to look at auto loans. They're going to have to look at things that are a little bit outside of the norm on where they can start to earn additional funds, because they are looking at interest rates as well, because we'll talk a little bit about these in some of the banks. If there's a 100-point increase over the course of the year, let's call it, and it's over a period of 5, 6, 7 different rate changes, the banks will eventually, this will all bleed down to their bottom line, which is good for them, but they're going to be looking at new ways to make money.
And as we said, already an amazing year for some of the banks. Let's get into it individually. Sure. I mean, Toronto, like a few of these anyways, are going to have operations in the U.S. and in Canada. TD, one of those. Yeah,
and TD might be a well-known name to some of our friends in the States as well, because of their sponsorship stuff and things of that nature. So TD had some great numbers. Again, they took their dividend, announced they're going to take their dividend from 79 cents to 89 cents. So and they're going to purchase another 2.7% of their shares. And again, because we're going into Q4, a lot of these banks always write in credit loss prevention numbers, but because interest rates have been so low, they're able to take that money all the way back into themselves. So TD announced that they were going to take $123 million that they didn't end up utilizing and back into themselves. So a great number for them. $3.8 billion net income for the quarter.
All-time highs as well for TD yesterday. National Bank, not one that typically gets discussed in that same group, but worth mentioning here. Yeah,
no, for sure. It's one of the it's the smaller of the banks, but 58% up year over year, $776 million net income for the quarter. Dave, sorry if I made you spill your coffee on that. $2.
Sorry, what was that number again?
Just over, $2.21 EPS. They, amongst all the banks, actually, they do have the best ROE metrics. So very, very strong numbers there. You're looking at TD, who took down $123 million in bad loans provisions. National Bank is $4 million that they wrote down. So it's a much smaller ballpark that they're playing in, but up their dividend 23%.
Wow. Yeah, and then the other two, obviously, Bank of Montreal, BMO, and CIBC. We have to have in this conversation as well.
Yeah, and again, these guys have taken their dividends up to much bigger numbers. And like we talked about, both those banks have said if there is an interest rate shock of up to 100 bips, BMO is going to end up benefiting $384 million is what they've said out loud that they will get off of that. And CIBC said $404 million if there is that 100 BIP change. So you think about those kind of numbers and what that does and where you want to be with respect to bank investment.
Yeah. The other group that we've discussed in depth this year, benefiting from this environment, benefiting from higher energy costs and higher oil costs, are obviously the oil stocks.
Right.
This market, this economy, heavily weighted in both the mining and energy sectors. So a few ideas here. CVE, the first one.
Yeah, I think just generally around the oil markets in general, there is a thought that right now we're sitting around $89. There is a thought that will go between 100 and 120, predicated on essentially three big variables. The one is demand. Will people be out traveling, doing all sorts of things where that demand is needed?
Yep.
Second will be just what OPEC Plus are they going to do with respect to upping supply to meet that increased demand? And then Iran, which is always the wild card in all of these things, what they're going to do. So, CVE as an example, they've been able to pay down a ton of their debt and they want to get more active. The one thing that they did note, and all these larger oil companies are noting, is the fact that they need to be above $45 a barrel in terms of their cost for drilling. So they're gonna be looking at projects where they can generate a minimum of a return on that basis, and they're gonna be looking at acquisitions because that's the best way to grow. And they understand that oil's not going to be at $100-120 forever because 10 years ago we saw that they were at 100 and spending was a little frivolous, let's call it. Yeah. And when oil fell back down, they were like, what do we do? And so now they're looking at smarter things like the banks doing share buybacks and looking at increasing their dividends. So CVE is definitely one that is looking to do that. The one thing that they did have, which was a little bit notable, is that they had a impairment on a U.S. asset that they had to write down $1.9 billion, which caused their loss to go up to $400 million.
So that number you mentioned, that cost per barrel number, is important in the sense that you said $45 is where they kind of get back into the positive side.
Yeah.
That's up significantly over just the past 2 or 3 years in this space in general. I remember reading $25 to $35 cost per barrel. So even that number jumping.
Yeah, and again, that depending on your investment thesis, you can start to actually drill down, pardon the pun, drill down into the players that are in the space. You can look at suppliers that are on the side if you want to get into that oil investment thesis. But yeah, $45 is sort of the baseline where they need to be.
Yeah. Let's go on. CPG and POU, the other two here.
Yeah, so CPG came out with an interesting statement. They said that they are actually looking to sell some of their assets in Alberta and Saskatchewan. That's Middle Canada for anybody else that doesn't know. But they're looking to sell those assets that generate about 10,000 BOE per day and looking to generate about $500 million in cash off of those sales. They have upped their dividend again. They announced a $100 million share repurchase. So they've been doing those things, again, in line with some of the bigger oil players. But they have come out to say they are going to start carving out some of these non-core assets, which is interesting to see. Typically, the bigger guys are out purchasing, but I think these guys want to fine-tune where they want to be in terms of asset purchases.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see here, $8 holding as a nice level right now. So this one, not as expensive as some of the other ones. And then POU, not one that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, no, Paramount. I mean, if you look at the share price, I mean, it's a stock if you take the 52-week chart on that, if you guys want to pull that up, it's a great looking chart. If you had looked at that earlier this year, obviously, like most of these oil stocks. And again, with them, they're announced. The most important thing that we found about it was that they announced a dividend of 6 cents for the quarter, and the record date's next week. So you're going to start to see some of these larger oil companies announce things like this in terms of the dividends and the buybacks, but they want to also be careful about where they're spending the money.
Great stuff as always. If this continues, and hopefully, with these rate hikes coming, we get a little bit of control, or they get this under control. But we have to, as we said, have an idea of where to be in the right spot at the right time, kind of thing. Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Group. It's a pleasure as always. Thank you.
Anytime.
Great stuff. Some energy names for you this morning, guys.
Yeah, it's been a good space to be in. And look, the Toronto banks are beasts. I like TD, of course, for the U.S. exposure. We've talked about that before. A lot of names are going to be interesting there. But energy, look, we're talking about inflation. Obviously, today, that's a pretty interesting topic, given the reaction to CPI here. But, it's almost like you have to be in some for a diversified portfolio. There are just about, if you're in Canada and you're in any kind of a dividend ETF, they are loaded up with banks and energy as well. Just wanted to quickly note, the market has managed to, retest some of those lows. We're at 1.5 down in the NASDAQ. Just noticing Twilio, which, again, like a company not maybe making money just yet, not profitable, but did have strong earnings. They're holding the bottom. So we made fresh lows. Twilio consolidating at the bottom end of this range. So it's setting up at least that if we can catch a bounce, it's got a nice consolidation area, this 233 area here at the bottom. A lot of things trying to hold lows right now. I noticed Snap couldn't hold 39. That's looking weak. Twitter couldn't hold 39 either. Same price, oddly enough. So still a lot of volatility going on. There's a lot of time till the market opens up in 30 minutes here. So I'm not necessarily rushing into anything, although I am going to be on the offer of this drama stock. It's a small cap that is on our watch list.
Drama. I've been tweeting out over there on Twitter, obviously, as they report as well. The sticky notes out, and I'm tweeting out my positions here as we've gotten into names that we like here on the day. So there it is right there. Check out the sticky note, but we are not into Disney, sorry. We're into Roblox right now as it comes down to 68, so we'll take that trade right here. We are also short Uber right now. We had that on the note, and we talked about that just before Raheem came on. And then we are long PayPal, looking to get longer. It actually went down to 121. We're actually waiting down there. So we'll see if we can average into the PayPal long. We have that 119-ish or so bottom that we made yesterday. Yesterday, it touched 120 and then broke back up. So we have 119 and change now coming through. So pretty good, pretty exciting. And yeah, like I was mentioning, I got into that ZEO, which is the BMO oil and gas ETF. Banks have been huge in this rate environment. It makes a lot of sense. So, keep on trucking along. Thank you to Raheem Alani from OCI Groups for bringing some new ideas. And follow him and follow us. And hopefully it'll be a good day today in these crazy, wild markets.
Yeah, and he likes Cincy, too. We were just talking about.
Oh, he liked the Bengals? But he also likes, his team is the Ravens, as we know. And right.
Yeah, that's
what I'm wondering.
It's more pity.
No, but what I was going to say is, right, he must like the Bengals a lot because,
okay, that
you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never cheering for the Bears or the Lions.
That's a good point.
Or the Vikings.
Yeah.
You're not cheering for the Patriots.
Oh, come on. Never.
Right. Cincinnati, yeah, that's true. Even Joe Burrow, who's from Ohio, was like, what, we won, so what am I going to go out in Cincinnati and get robbed? Like what is it, like, you know what I mean? So shout out to everyone.
Man, I've been to Cincinnati a few times.
So have I, and it's a damn rough neighborhood. I think Cincinnati has, honestly, you guys can tell me, the reputation of Cincinnati is not great. I mean,
it depends on where you are in Cincy.
Well, I mean, that's true of everything.
Remember, I told you the story where Steve and I were.
Buffalo's beautiful,
anyways,
right?
I can't kid.
Go ahead, you can tell the story.
There's like certain areas, and I remember a buddy and I were driving, and it's like there was a very noticeable difference. And I guess a lot of cities are like that. Like you drove, and it's like we crossed one track, and then all of a sudden, my friend was like, "Yo, man, I'm scared," and I'm just like calm down, man. Like it's. Like,
my comment is just based on Joe Burrow, who's
I love Joe.
He's
Burrow.
quoted out to say like there's absolutely nothing to do in Cincinnati, nor does he even want to go.
That's why he's focused, man.
Yeah. He's focused. This should be a good game. We're gonna actually tomorrow. We're gonna do props on our show.
Yeah.
So the 2 p.m. show. Come back. We're going to do props. I already have a whole bunch. I'm already in like 6 or 7 prop bets for that, but we're gonna tease it and give it to you next week or tomorrow.
Some upgrades and downgrades to get to.
Brendan's like Super Bowl?
A couple of interesting names. Yeah, Brendan's locked and loaded, ready to go. He's focused on the markets right now.
And food on Sunday as well, guys. Here we go. AXP, worth noting at top of the list here. All-time highs. Here's another one. All-time highs at the, what was it, Tuesday? We got to all-time highs for AXP. Six Flags, Royal Caribbean. The cruise lines have been strong all week, but on that side, NCLH over here, Zenga, Health Services Group, and AIG to the downside.
We've ragged on, or sort of said, take with a grain of salt upgrades and downgrades sometimes because you don't know. Ultimately, these analysts, you read the reports, see what they say. But notable, Citigroup downgrades Norwegian, initiates coverage on a couple of other reopened names, Six Flags and Royal there, so Norwegian with the downgrade. So they're basically picking winners and losers. Neither one of those is the name that, yesterday, reversed off of that 23 level, 23 to 23.30 level, heavy, and that's going to be CCL. I like this one for the day trade. We took 2 shots at it. In the morning, it didn't work, and then it got to that high, which was on the daily right here, this previous top, 23.30, and it did reverse off of that level. So you're right back to the well with the same 2 price areas here. First off the 23, even if it can break down, then you still have resistance at 23.40. Sometimes it's about where it's come from. This name has had a huge run, breaking out from 20 even, looking like it's threatening the lower end of the range. So my first shot will be in front of 23, and then I'll probably take it 23.40. It has to break this to break out. Otherwise, your real support's at 20, and then you got these levels down here, 21.5, 21 and a quarter. Inside of that range, I feel like you're talking about a short because you're closer to resistance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. I guess you guys are calling me brass balls now because, yeah, I have 3 long positions, and I was not expecting Disney to come in right here rolling records. So it's come in pretty good, and we just took a long down there. So we are long now, Disney, 156.25. I'm offering near 50 here, 49 to be exact, just to see if we can get something out at 49 and then just go from there because, like, this tanked pretty good. There it is. So we just got some 49s in there. Yes, we did. So there's some 49 prints, 48 or 49 in there. So good take right there. We are in the money. We just took 25 cents on it. We'll do that. But yeah, we need this thing to go upside now. So let's see if that is exactly going to be the case here. 49s, our next offer is up at 156.90. So we'll see if that can go. But let's just see. PayPal, Roblox. It's funny because the only one I'm short is actually not going down. Disney, PayPal, Roblox also into the long, and we're testing new lows here as well. Like, it's very dangerous to get into these positions. That's why we talk about share size and what's appropriate and what to do here. Roblox obviously on a negative 2% down for the NASDAQ. We've seen these things go down 10%. 20%, things like that, right? These are these Cathie Wood stocks, high growth stocks. So they came in a lot. I honestly, remember that we started this, the futures were down 1.2%. You know, that's when we started to get some. Well, it's heavily starting to move to the downside here as the futures continue to crack lower. Like I said, we will have Arun on soon. Go over some levels, but right now, it's a little bit of a nasty dive down here. Crypto bouncing off 3,000 is Ethereum, and BTC right now hovering 43.4 right here. This is a 1 hour chart, but we're looking at the bottoms of crypto again. 42.8 maybe coming into play. We may test 42,000 again. Like, I don't know why crypto would be moving like this much on this news when it's basically as expected, but hey, it's a wild beast, and it's starting to go downside right now. As you can see, here's the number at 8:30, and crashed out. So we were at 45 and actually doing really great. I didn't even realize BTC was at 45,000. Comes out, and obviously dumping assets is what's happening worldwide right now. So there it goes to the downside. I think it's a good opportunity to pick up some of these names, but you may want to give it a little bit more room. Come on, we're up to 77 now, man. We're about to ring the register. I might just offer this out on Disney Radio. Why am I waiting for 90s? This is a nice 50-cent win as we speak.
You're above 2% officially, guys. So continuing to rally as the market is going in the opposite direction. Important data to understand what to expect as far as the futures are concerned. We'll bring in Arun here and get his take on where we could go. Arun, pretty negative so far.
Yeah, and it's not a surprise that we did what we did where we did it. I think 45.80, that zone has been a problem for a while now. And it's pretty much the marker that we have here, this little area. And I was hoping that we would do a nice little pop into it, maybe fade that kind of a move. But if we're going to fall right off, it kind of removes the idea of the short because you don't have any new levels or any levels close by to work with. So we still have that 45.80 going up to 46.20. That level's been in play for a while. We're going to leave that as is. So if the market were to go back up to 45.80, maybe put in some new highs and then fail, that's still open for a short. On the downside, we are hitting some support zones, right? Around this 45.20 mark, there could be a chance of a bounce as long as we don't break 4,500. So that's still a possibility. Even with this 50-point move to the downside, there's still a possibility that we bounce off these 20s and maybe go back towards 50. So I'm looking for potential longs if we can get the setup. And that's, I think, critical at this point is the fact that the market is strong to the downside right now. So if you want to go for the long, you got to set this up, and it's got to set up in the right way because it's going to be a problem if you're long and the selling only accelerates after the open. So here we are at 23, stalling a little bit, just a tiny bit. 4,500, as long as this holds, that could be a long. If 4,500 were to break, that's another problem in itself because then you don't have any new levels or any levels available until 43.95 into the 4,400. So it's better off this market does something like maybe a bounce of providing an opportunity for a short versus just continuing to go straight down because the window is wide. It is 46.20 up top, 43.95 down below. That's 200 plus points. And here we are trading in the middle. So 4,500 is a possibility as long as we can get something set up. But for the time being, before I head off here, I want to show you guys something here. On the right-hand side, this is the 50 DMA, the white line. That's the 100 and that's the 200. Usually these aren't a problem, but when they get very close together, they get quite concentrated. Why these matter? typically around these areas, that's when there's program activity, institutional program activity. So here we are finding some action around that 75 mark. No surprise there. Get through that 100, and now we have a clean line to the downside. So like I mentioned off of this chart, the range is wide. As long as we can get a bounce, we can set something up. But for the time being, just be careful. Don't step into anything right away. Just wait it out, let it settle in, and then we can go and take some shots.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. Make sure you're here at 11 o'clock. Check out Trader Prad back in the building along with Arun for Market Movers. Let's get into what else is moving around in the pre-market this morning. If you are looking, guys, for an absolutely free resource, grab the watch list every single morning. Free. All you need is a email address. Walt Disney, the first one on that list this morning. Huge beat right across the board, both EPS and revenue much higher than expected. Disney Plus growth was higher than expected. Even their theme park number pretty good, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just a couple of things here. We're going to get to Disney in a quick second. AMD just held 128. That's low from yesterday, 126 as well. I just got into that name, letting things try to find some bottoms here. Now, Disney, when Netflix did the report, one of the things they talked about was that you had competition eating into them. And then Disney kind of confirms that with better growth than Netflix. The parks is certainly something that everyone's been waiting for quite some time to actually hit them positively here. And like we mentioned at the top of the show, this was trying to break. It's already broken out on the daily from this level down here, so let's forget about that. But it was trying to break this level, this 160, where it was just at the beginning of the year. We come right back into this and find, a gap and then a complete resistance off that 160 level. When you have a gap fill like this, the setup usually favors, okay, you take out the bottom, your risk is to the high of the day. So I think it has to break that 160 on the daily to really go. Otherwise, you're talking about defenses maybe closer to the 150 mark. It was holding the pre-market lows after the numbers came out, after CPI came out. That's kind of ebb now. We've broken down below that. We're at 156. So it is favoring the short side of the trade here with the market flushing, and then you have that 160 level as your cover. There's a few other names that I like for short pops a little bit better than that, but at the same time, if it gets anywhere close to that 160, that's usable. If the market finds a bottom, great. I've already got AMD because it was hitting a level to the downside, but this hasn't extended far enough to even think about where to pick up a bottom yet on Disney for me. AMD, I like that 128 yesterday. It just happened to come right back into the yesterday morning's lows.
So Neil might not have found a level, but we already took out half right now for money. So we'll wait to see. I mean, who knows where this thing's going to go at this point, but we already took some out there at 50, and then again at 80 on the upside from this. So we've already made cash on this one, but with this number coming out, we didn't even look at the imbalances. Anyways, it's on the sticky note. It's the number. It's not the number one idea, but it's just the EPS beat and the subs were up, right? So looking for some support. We found some at 156. It looks like the market agrees temporarily with that bottom right here of 156. So we'll just see if that comes through or not. For sure. I mean, a break of 160 is great. I mean, anything up here is great. I don't know. I'm not convinced that this is the move that Disney, will take here. I feel like it could dump down a little bit off open, but here we go. So there it is, man. Now we're in the money again. We could get out 50s if we want to. That's that 25-cent win. But on the daily chart, we did make a nice bottom here. If you look at 135, even 145 in here, 140 to 145. Nice to take out this area, which is what we're looking at right now. So we're going to see if we can hold. That bottom's 155 right here. If you use that as a bottom, that's 152. So, I don't know. Can we flow? I mean, here it is. I mean, maybe we'll just take the rest out here because we are long a few other names that could be dangerous. So that's 155 bottom. I think you got to give it a little bit more to that, maybe 153, 154. So right now, all is well. I think we'll take another piece out here on Disney, but it's definitely moving to the right way here. We found that bottom at 156, and we've added to it. So follow at TraderTV Sean. I've just posted all 4 positions on there that I have early. So, and again, just being as honest as I can. Like, there it is. I like the long. We'll see where we go from here. They're not big positions. We only have 15 minutes to go. But let is now look at the imbalance locator. I was going to look at DD today. I don't know, Brendan, if you found any information on this, but it was up. He was up even more. It was up to 425 today with a big imbalance. So, I mean, it's not big, but big enough that it's on here. Other than that, man, Nubank, we talked about that one. I think I'd be a seller of this name. Other than that, not much on here that interests me right now. So let's wait to see Disney. There it is right there as a buy, so temporary buy. Let's get out if we go back up to that 157, and we've just stopped there a couple times. So that's going to be a good indication there. But right now, the imbalance locator, considering the day, it's not too spicy.
Yeah, I did see DD there when I first came in this morning, but didn't find much on it other than that strength that we saw in some of those Chinese makers, or Chinese EV makers specifically, but Chinese stocks in general yesterday. Uber, guys, the next one here, number is pretty good right across the board for Uber, other than their rider number was down a little bit, but decent quarter overall. Uber trying to hold up here.
Always relative to Lyft, right? So Lyft's rider number, a bigger disappointment. Uber did do better there. Keep in mind, their profitability, so when they say they made an adjusted profit, that's because of their equity stakes, right? They actually swung a loss of 26 cents a share, but the expectation was they'd lose 35 cents a share. So technically, it was actually an EPS beat, even if you take back those numbers, but they aren't making money yet. Overall, it's still a relatively good report for them. At the end of the day, 45 is the key level up here. I think we talked about this in the afternoon show. And then you sort of have this bottom end of the range, or what was the top end previously, at $40. It's sitting smack dab in the middle. And there has been someone buying at $42 kind of a couple of times here. I think if that level breaks, I think, Sean, you already went short on the 42 break because it did go one time. It's now held a couple of times. So holding up that 5% is actually a bit of a strong sign with the market continuing to crater here. It does give you a bit of cover, but I suspect if that level goes, you might get a test of 40. That's where I'd be comfortable buying Uber today, in front of $40. 45 is obvious resistance on the daily charts. I don't think it's sticking anything out on the limb. If you get up to 45, I think that's way too far in this environment today for Uber.
Yeah, we're already short Uber, and I'm actually looking at Ford right now as that came all the way back down. Yeah, we put the Uber in the notes there. Decent numbers, but lower guide. I was looking for the 42 break. It's unfortunate that it's not really happening, but there it is. So there it goes. So now we're cooking here. Now we're in the money 15 cents and lower. So let's see. Maybe this is going to be a good one. We are short something now, so that's going to be Uber, and here it goes right back down to the bottom. So for me, I don't want to get out of this one at all. Let's just see how Uber trades. I want to be shorter up here if we can. Didn't like, again, I don't know. It's a high growth name, like Neil said, not making money, so it fits the bill. I'm already in other names that don't make money, like Roblox right now. Disney and PayPal, a little different. They do make, but you could see if we're going to hold something, it has to be a short. It's going to be Uber for me today. The shorts are on fire, so let's see if that works out on the downside. We're already, let's just go right now. Spin it one more time. Your boy tweets these positions out, gets in them, and now we're 50 cents in the money. Money on Uber. So maybe we'll take this out if it can come even. I don't know. I don't even have any ideas here. Let's put a bid out near like this 41-ish area to see about. I'm just like throwing darts right now. I don't really have an area of concern here. But again, if the market does, I'd rather the market rally at the open than tank. So let's get out of some Uber. Yes, sir. Line up that cash. Shout out to everybody on the chat there. If you do have this Uber short, looks like it's paying off right here. So let's go. We're gonna put a bid right here at 50, take out for 75 cents, and then let's get this party started with a big win there on Disney and a big win here on Uber.
A $4 billion share buyback program announced that caused the initial spike. We are still, actually pretty surprisingly, positive here. 1.3% gets all the way up here to 41.5. And then they say, oh yeah, but don't look at the rest of the numbers. Neil and I were talking in the pre-market there and said, look over here. Don't look at everything else, guys.
Thing. Like one thing people like buybacks are great because of what they actually do for the stock price, but let's remember it doesn't actually reflect anything. You had some cash, you're throwing it around there. It doesn't gloss over the actual fundamentals of the business. And in this case, it's going to stand out. Twitter, this is 39.25. It just spiked up to 40 on what was the buyback news because the rest of the report really not that fantastic when you talk about their growth prospects. And that 40 level is still very valid for me, even though it's been breached in the pre-market. I still like it on the daily. 39.25 as well. So if we get up to 39.25, it's a fade, especially in this environment. And it looks like we're going to get to the open right around that price range and able to take it. It's got a $5, sorry, check that. It's got about a $3.50 pre-market range. Ignore some of these wicks. So you do have to give it some room at 930. Moving up $1 from here is actually almost nothing, despite the fact that it's a $4 name. I just can't be long in Twitter today. AMD is a different story. They get the Xilinx deal going through. They had a support at this price level yesterday. The chip space overall is strong. I can't look at that report and say, I'm going to favor the long side of Twitter. So I'm going to be shorting any kind of pops that it has. And AMD, just to come back to this, there's actually been a seller at 128.50, been hanging out here, and it's broken at one time, and then kind of like that Uber 42, it just came back a couple of times. It's now trying to chew through that price. So this had a consolidation around 70.75. I'm going to take some out there, see if we can't ring the Reggie. And then this AREB, that's just a small cap at the bottom of our list. That's the standard pop and fade off a lower consolidation. It doesn't really matter what happens in the market, I don't think, for that name.
Twitter, hard pass. I don't even, honestly, forget about that stock. It's garbage. I don't like the way it trades. I never really had any luck with Twitter. It's not on the sticky note. I mean, you can see the names I'm in already: PayPal, Roblox, Uber, Disney. They're all on the sticky note. I completely ignored Twitter today, but I don't know. It's again, I'm just not happy with it. We know Jack Dorsey's left. They can't monetize. I've lost faith in Twitter. So. Good report, was up nicely at 42, but obviously everybody has the same thoughts that I do right now. You get a bump in Twitter, you might as well just sell it. So there it is, right down to the downside. I wish I would have been short Twitter, but again, a name that I don't feel is going to work. So I don't want to look at it today. If it has some crazy moves, fine. It's already done 6 million shares, which is going to be huge. It's going to be a huge day for Twitter. But look, I mean, we can sit here and talk about what a great quarter it was. It's now red. And going to the downside and just continues to march. Like, I feel like this is like a cannabis stock all of a sudden. But Twitter, I'm not happy. I don't like it. I'm a small investor in this. I dumped it. Actually got really lucky where we got out of this one. I think I was telling you some stories about that when we were in it, because everyone in like my football pool chat, not the same one as Neil, but another one, was like, oh, we should buy Twitter because Trump is president. And I was like, yeah, not a bad call. Just happened to be obviously the fact that
good thing.
Yeah, it was, and it worked. And the thing is that you also had COVID that gave a great price and then a rally right back up. So we've already talked about them not even being able to monetize when they had, the president literally, communicating on that every single day. So not much faith in that, but a lot of faith, not much faith in Uber either, but you can see what's happening right now. See ya, now $1 in the money on Uber. We already did take out some there at 50. We talked about that, but now $1 in the money here on this Uber short. So Neil's got the AMD long. I'm long 3 other names as well. And I think we did the right thing here because my other ones are coming back and Uber's going down. So it looks like we've planned this pretty good.
We mentioned right off the top the positivity when it came to earnings today, guys. We had all of the chip makers very, very strong yesterday. I put them on there. I mean, obviously with the CPI number going to change things a little bit. AMD, separate news, as we said, the Xilinx tie-up. But we got to keep that in your back pocket, I think, if the market does try to rally the strength that we saw in some of those chip names the past couple of days. I want to talk about Datadog and Twilio. 2 other huge reports out both aftermarket and this morning. DDOG still up 10.6%. Twilio also with a nice number.
Yeah, I mean, well, I sort of talked about Twilio because I was looking already at this level, so I'm going to start there. They're not actually, look, they're still not running profits, but you get the growth that you're looking for. And that's what actually matters too, right? Like you have like a 50% year-over-year rise in revenue. And if you're going to not make money or have a high valuation, then guess what? You better pucker up and deliver when it comes to growth. So that's what they were able to do. It's still, despite the market, going to the downside, it's still holding that channel that I like, this 228, call it, to about 232, 233. That's having fallen from 260. You're probably not talking about like real support until you get to 215. So this is just a momentum style idea here that it's holding up. If the market wants to try to make any kind of a rally, you're looking for essentially a break of that 32. Can you get back up to the 38 levels? But at the open, you actually have to hold the low. So that's not a trade that I'm taking. I would even think about taking until we get to the open and see if the bottom is actually held. And if that happens, then I think you can talk about the run back into the upside. Ultimately, This is still, like I said, a company that does not necessarily make money. It was a different story trying to pick a bottom on a stock like AMD that had an established level that I'm working off of. You're right in the middle of nowhere with something like a Twilio, and I would expect tons of volatility in this name today. Like, it's not going to move $1 or $2 today. Twilio's going to move. It's going to move
$1 or
10.
$2.
It's going to move 10 or 20. Like, someone asked about Enphase today. I was like, I'm not touching Enphase. Like, yesterday I found a level on Enphase. Today, after that CPI number, I don't know that I would want to be trying to pick a level on something like an Enphase. But the established stocks that you know where there is some buying and selling that you can dig into, that's a little bit more of a confidence thing. And I should show you AREB because we're getting on in time here with only 6 minutes to go. This is the lower consolidation I talked about. It gapped up, spiked to $3, put in sort of an obvious 275 double top. The second time it tested that level, I got it in the 70s or just below it. Already scalped some out, and it'll scalp more out in front of that 250 level. This is what it looks like on the 15-minute chart. Look at this area from 250 to 275, right? You had some price acceptance in there. So it's a good scalp area. If it takes out the bottom, certainly likely headed down towards $2. So I just like the setup. You've seen it about a million times. It breaks that 280, and I would just be out.
Thank you so much. I like that Rolling Records tweet there. Thanks, man, for that one. But okay, just liked it myself there. We are into a new position, and it's everyone's favorite stock. So again, another name on the sticky note. Look what's on my sticky note today. Disney, Uber, Ford, AMC, and Roblox. So the only name we're waiting to get into is Ford, and we will talk about that. Disney now motoring a nice motor to the upside here on Disney. So I'm going to cancel that sell. Let's see if we go higher on Disney now. Maybe 159 we'll put an offer on that one. AMC is the new position that we're talking about. So here it is. We're long right here. We talked about 1780 on the sticky note. So let's take the 1780 long and go to the upside. We're in the money now on all of our positions. So we'll wait to see what happens. Sans PayPal. PayPal 121.40. We're long at it. It's at 120 flat or 121 flat right now. So we're going to wait for that one. Roblox motoring upside as well. 67.90. So 68.05 right now printing. We're going to take some out here at 68.50 if we can. This should be a very, very interesting morning for your boy here because we're already in 5 positions, Brendan.
Crazy mover from yesterday. DCFC worth noting, guys. Remember, this was the, I saw a lot of people saying presidential trade. This is the one that President Biden was tweeting about. They're going to visit the White House. 16 and 8. This thing has a huge range, FYI. 16, 18, and then 20 is the very top from yesterday on the resistance side. There was a lot of support down here around 12 and 12 and a half. So watch 12 to 12.50 on the bottom end. But we're kind of stuck in this range right now. So watch for a test higher on DCFC. It's actually 100 million plus float, but trades like a low float stock, guys.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. It halts, it goes crazy, but it's not one of these 1.2 million share float names. That's exactly what Drama is. It's a 4.3 float. And the other one I'm in, AREB, that's also a 4 million float. So that's why hard stops on each of those. I'll very quickly, IronNet was another name I'm looking at here. Whatever, man. They got a multi-year contract. But at the same time, this stock up 23%. This is what it's trying to do here, and that's what I'm concerned about. You have this nice breakout going on the daily chart when you zoom in on the daily chart from about like 360. Next resistance really isn't until $5. So this has some room to run. It's got lots of room to go. I think it probably has to base out at 420 here, hold these pre-market bottoms, but it's got room to 5. 5 I do think is going to be a short if it ever gets there. IronNet on the watch. It is also a relatively smaller company. It's not a 4 million float or anything like that. It still have that seller at 125. Sorry. At 128.50 on AMD. It's still trying to break through that, but I'm holding through the open. Either takes out the low and reestablishes itself at 126, or I think we break through that, and I'm taking some shares out on the break and then looking for a 130 target on the rest. CCL, which was the play that I like, the only name that wasn't on that list, from Citigroup, I think it was, or Barclays. But I still like it in front of 23. I think shorting the pops until it gets to 23.30 and breaks out at that level. It's a fade on the daily chart for me, and it's got support at $20.
Okay, so we're back into more Roblox shares. I mean, everything is going fine right now. Net-wise, we're in, we don't show our share size, but like I said, we'll tell you if we're up or down on a stock. But right now, Roblox, we just got that fill down here at 67. So let's wait to see where we go. We're offering some out at 68. Our average price is now, our average price is right here, actually. So we'll wait to see what happens. But it's trying to, I mean, it's going lower here. This is going to be a big push off the open to make some moves to the downside. So we're going to have to try to find some lower levels here. Obviously, we stepped in a little bit too early. Obviously, as we go here, but you can see the NASDAQ imbalances just came out. Some big sell sides here. A Snap with a sell side, no surprise there. AMC with a sell side. Skills, sometimes we talk about, that's a sell. Disney with a bid. But other than that, I said there's a few large ones, but not really. I saw Neo there, I saw Snapchat, and I see Ford. But we'll wait to see what happens now. PayPal back in the money right here with only 2 minutes to go. PayPal rocking, okay.
Nice.
120, 140 long. Right, we could take it out right now and make that money. So maybe we will do that. Where am I offering? I'm offering 122.90. I feel like PayPal goes higher than this, obviously. So I think that's a mistake. Let's put an offer right here. Maybe 122.90 is just too far away. If we could take $1 on PayPal right now, we should probably do that. That's 121.40, so 122.50. Yeah, right around here, we'll take an offer. 122.25 or so. Let's just put an offer there.
I think we got to do backflips when you any chance, like, you know, right before the open with the market still on the lows to get a bounce off that level, like the 128.50 broke on AMD. Not the stock that should be related to PayPal, but a lot of names just got a bit of a bump off those lows. So going to ring the register, take some profit. There's always a chance we retest the lows right away as the market is still in. It's still in fade mode, man. Like, you look at the NASDAQ, it's not like we're bouncing off the bottom here or the ES either. They're hanging off those lows. So if you find a name that off its support level is giving you profit, you want to make sure you're taking a little bit. Snapchat, you mentioned on this list. Let's be the last one before you get to the bell. That just broke the low of the day at 38. Now, Snapchat, you remember, has that wild range. Let's not forget how big 35 has been if it would ever get back down there, and 40 still all kinds of resistance. In the middle has been an absolute gong show if you try to trade Snapchat.
Yeah, Snapchat's crazy. Disney $1.20 now in the money and starting to go upside. So Disney working, right? I mean, it's just bouncing around. So yeah, now it's $1 in the money. So watch out for Disney going on here. Not time yet, Tim, my friend, as we're getting ready to rock and roll with only 15 seconds left.
Premature action,
yeah, we are in lots of names here. So we're going to watch out for AMC here, trying to make moves back to VWAP. 8 seconds left.
6.
So here we go. We just got out of something as well. Roblox with a nice out. Go Roblox, 2 and 1. Come on, Roblox. Let's go. Okay, Roblox, nice out there for Roblox. Hit the sirens already. Just got out 68 off of a nice average. We're deep with some of these trades. So let's go here as the market has now opened. Look at the NASDAQ starting to run to the high side right now. If it is, it is. But it's starting to go. We'll see. I got to zoom in a little bit here to see that. Here we go. Upside now, NASDAQ. Let's go. We just need PayPal to go, Roblox, and Uber now. Uber crashing down. $1.50 now in the money on Uber.
AMD actually went through 129. Now it's immediately going to try to retest the bottom here. This is why you take some profit. Comes the other way, but we're still in the money on it. That's why we got a good price. CCL was the other one I wanted to see if it popped at the open. Still on the New York. It comes 5 cents away from my offer. I went to 22.90. I was sitting at 94. Looks like we just missed a short pop on CCL, but it does reverse hard. Now absolutely flushing and dying here in CCL as the market's starting to roll back over.
Yeah, buddy. And our only short is printing cash right now as Uber down $1.40 now in the money on Uber. AMC, nicely done, all the way up to 18. Let's go AMC. Let's see if this one works, man. We're 40 cents in the money on AMC as well, as that is starting to go. So, hey, good trade so far. Crypto starting to go upside a little bit as well. So we'll have to watch out for that as we go. But maybe we'll take a piece out on AMC now as it's made a nice move to the high side.
Yeah, the market, I think, is actually putting in a bit of a rebound here. You just saw a double bottom here on CCL. I just saw AMD start to run here, and I'm actually going to back off from offering in front of 130. If that's a wick bottom here, there's a chance that AMC could go absolutely bonkers back into the upside. And when I see that, we talked about Snapchat, that's running big time to the upside. We talked about 40 as a level. That's the first thing I will test. I'm not taking 39.30. I'm not taking 39.50. $40 is the price level on Snapchat, and we're screaming into that level right now.
Yeah, we're on fire right now, guys. El Fuego. AMC out right there. Good out for me on AMC. We just new position alert, though, Ford. Let's see what happens with Ford now. Ford Nation trying to come through here. And we're just going to wait to see because we did take that long. I don't even know if it's open yet. I'm seeing that New York book crossing up like crazy here. So I'm not sure what's happening with Ford, but we are on this name. So let's wait to see where we go. Long right now above. We're long at 03, actually, but I don't think we've opened yet. So Ford struggling to open. Let's just see where we go.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few names that actually I'm looking at that seem like they haven't opened on the NYSE. Peloton, if my chart will load. Come on, give me a break. Peloton tried to make a bit of a bounce. That actually is continuing to look relatively weak. Like AMD, like I said, I've canceled my offer in front of 130. I'm just going to let it ride at this point. If 128 is the bottom, I think we have so much room to be able to run back in. Peloton 36. That's the key price. It's still about $1 away from that, so no need to rush over to that name and get into it too early. Snapchat, as I said, yeah, it got to 39.50 or so. I was waiting in front of 40s. It's trying to pull back. So you are seeing some relative weakness in things like Snapchat, things like Peloton, whereas the chip names looking relatively strong. From what I can see anyways, I'm just watching AMD.
Uh-oh, $1 on PayPal. So let's go, guys. Hit the siren alert. Drop that cash down. Have some fun today with us as we are. Look at that. Great move up there on PayPal, man. We got you, homie. Look at Roblox. Bang on Roblox. So we'll go yes, sir, on that one. And it's a carnival kind of atmosphere here today as the market's going to the upside. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Explosion time now for all of your boys' trades. Roblox, $1.50 in the money. PayPal, $1.50 in the money. Ford, 10 cents in the money. Uber, $1.70 in the money. AMC, 40 cents in the money. Disney, 80 cents out of the money. So let's just keep going here. Good trade so far today. We got to be mucho happy with this one. When we go all this, guys, we're doing it back to back to back jacks. Yesterday, a huge day today. Let's go, Neil.
Yeah, just look at CCL here. $23 is a clear linchpin level. I was just able to get 88. Someone's holding it at 90 cents. Over and over again. There is a stacked offer there. I'm not saying it's a fake level, but there's just a bunch of offers. If it breaks 90, I think you almost want to get out and then retest at 30. Until then, I'm just going to scalp it in front of that range. Looks like it's a good one here. We just had a bit of a turn on AMD, so I was waiting to see what would happen. What happens when you get to that 30 level? Bit of a rejection at 30. Sorry, 130. Now if it consolidates, 130, not 30. If it breaks this 130, I think it's got $2 of upside easily. So I want to make sure we're hanging on to this, but there is some concern at that price. Worth maybe a breakout trade if you weren't in this name. And Johnny Drama, which we're talking about, that's drama stock. That was that small cap. It just stopped out there. Just want to show you guys it broke 145. That's a lower consolidation. So we'll take the hit on Drama. That's the small cap. We're going to hang on to our big cap names that are starting to run. And Snapchat, even though the market is absolutely booming, it still isn't at that $40 level. It's very, very close. I just got missed on the offer by about 5 cents. It's relatively weak. I mean, AMD's through that 130. I'd expect to be short Snapchat already, yet somehow it can't get to me.
Okay, so we are just monstrous here today. Again, PayPal with a nice move to the upside. Like, we are multiple dollars in the money on multiple symbols. So here goes PayPal, $1.70 now in the money. Unfortunately, I just got out of some more Roblox there, as that's wow, great trade on that one. We talked about that. If you did want to look out, man, our sticky note is on fire again today. So the only problem is Disney right now that's not participating. So we'll wait to see. We do have an offer here on PayPal. One more spike through here. We'll get out in the teens if we can. A little bit of a move up there, giving us $2 now on PYPL. But maybe that's... Oops, there it is. I was going to say, maybe that's not great. But there it is right now. Belly dance for you, Tim. Here we go. Let's go now as we revisit our Turkish heritage on the show, tradertv.live. Big ups, Tim. Here we go. $2.50 in the money. Bang! That's a good idea. Not only that, we tweeted all of this ish out. So what's up now? Here we go to the upside. Big time movements here, guys. It's 7 minutes in, and we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6. Let's go. Ring the Reggie on some of these, though, guys. Don't get carried away like your boy. Let's go to the upside. We just out of some Disney right there. What's up, Brendo?
We mentioned the chip makers, guys. Strong the past couple of days. Here goes Micron, the first one. Right back to pre-market highs, guys. We're at 92 already for MU.
Yeah, I mean, Micron's strong. We took AMD. It's clean through that 130 level. Like I said, 132 looks like that upside surprise for us. I think we can get there. When you have a reversal like this, you kind of want to let the winners run. If it holds at 131, I might consider where we put a trailing stop in. We're now in a CCL. We took the scalp trade off that 90 level, and now we're short in front of 23. 23.35 is the key price up there. Until it gets there, almost doesn't really matter. Snapchat, it's right at that $40 range. Here's the top. I mean, we got to 40.50 before. You can't let it take out the pre-market high, but it's still a fade for me on that particular name. And then I talked about Twitter, which is the one I could not bring myself to even think about along. Twitter's nowhere close to where I wanted this short, as it can't even get off the bottom. Unfortunately, it might not be an entry. It's even weaker than I expected. Brendo? No?
No, Brendo, just hot fire. Look at all of these names, guys. Ford, look at this in. Look at this in. Bang, 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 bang. We stayed back. We did some research last night. We found out how we got to make that cash, and it's by holding stock to the upside. Ford, 25 cents in the money. Check out PayPal here, Brendo. $4 in the money on PYPL. Let's keep going to the upside here. What you got for us, homie?
Big moves all over the place. AREB, the other low float stock we had on the watch list this morning, 72% now, about to halt, or trying to halt up here at 380, guys.
Yeah, remember we said we have a tight stop on that small cap? This is why, right? Like we're taking profits, and then you just get this move. I actually thought it was about to halt. I don't know why it hasn't halted up $1 in just a few candles here. I was looking to see if this one would be one of those halt retracement type plays, but $4 might just have to be the level. There's not a heck of a lot until you get to this 420 up here, and I know, $4, 420. That seems obvious, but I thought it was about to halt. It's the only reason I'm not actually in the short, but you've got to have your tight stops in there. You'll see me in Snapchat, and kind of just calm with this one. It's right in front of that 40 level. We thought this was going to be a fade if it ever got to this price. Now it's starting to roll over until it gets down to about like 39, 25, 39, 30 or so. Get that first 50-cent move. Not really too worried about taking profit on it just yet. The next trade I think is going to be an AREB. That one, like I said, has not halted, but 4 to 420, definitely a good profit target area.
I'd like to get out of some of these, but like I said, we were trying to hold for a little bit, but we've already got the monster wins on. We already actually got out a lot here of Ford. We're out now of 2/3 of this trade as we cleaned it out on the upside there. We held as much as we could, which was good. Well, we didn't hold as much as we could, but we did pretty good on holding there, I feel like. PayPal, I'm just going to let this one go, guys. Try to just channel some inner, hold capabilities because we don't normally do that. So we'll look to see right here a nice move up. We are breaking out. We just were at that 124.50. That was at $4, but it does turn away from that. We are trying to break through this 124. So, we're getting very, very close. Yes, sir. Ford now 25 cents in the money. PayPal $3. And check out Roblox, guys. To have held this from the bottom, and not gotten any out would have been suicide. But wow, unbelievable day that's happening right here once again, guys. We misstepped on one day this month. Since then, man, it's been absolute hot fire right now. And there goes Roblox just crushing it. $3 in the money PayPal, $2 in the money Roblox, 21 cents in the money Ford, which isn't bad. And then 50 cents AMC, guys. Thank you to Niagara Charlie putting this on my watch yesterday. Didn't trade it. Well, we traded near the end of the day. No, we didn't actually. Maybe, did we? I don't know. No, we didn't. Neil did. But AMC right now starting to go higher, higher, higher. We are 50 cents in the money on this name as well. The only name that is not my friend today, and it's stupid because it went well into the money, guys. We are in the money 70 cents on this trade, but we didn't take it. So now we'll wait here, 156, get some out on Disney if it does pop back up. Unfortunately, the name that was heralded all pre-market, post-market, now getting crushed down to the downside, but we are still long. Have faith, old friend. Disney, let's go. Bob Chapek, start saying some nice stuff.
Yeah, I still think the report was pretty good. I think support for me was just so far away. This looks like AREB's going to get away. It does not halt to the upside. It does not get to $4. It's now back at $3.80. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get that trade, but I'm not going to chase it on a small cap either. Another rollover happening here at Snapchat. It did a failed break at 40 just now. Got up to about 40.15 or so. If it wants to consolidate here, I might add to that position just to check what's happening in the overall market so you guys can see. This is the bottom that got made at 14.7 on the NASDAQ. Actually trying to get back to what was, if you take out the last, day and a half, it was resistance up here at 148.70. So you might have a bit of a slowdown. That's the only thing that concerns the AMD trade right now, is that same slowdown is us getting to that 130 and then failing the breakout. That's what I'm thinking about there. CCL 23.30 is that level from yesterday. So I'm going to risk it, the 23 short, into that 23.30. Otherwise, we're trying to hold that one all day long. And Snapchat, very similar. Twitter's the one that's going to be a frustrating one because it just cannot. In the midst of this bounce, we're still not getting any entries into Twitter as you're seeing it just continue to hold. What might end up working is just short it off of the pre-market lows. And if it wants to be this week, well, then I guess it's going to stay negative on the session, even if the market bounces.
I forgot to, was that Twitter? Yeah, I hate Twitter.
Okay,
I'm glad you're trading it because I don't want it.
I haven't even gotten it.
Yeah, I know, but I don't even want to, trust me, I don't even want to look at that stock. At least you're looking at it, so shout out to that. And there's going to be some stocks that are like that for you. Snapchat was one of them, and that was fun on the earnings day and the day after, but we can have a look back. One name that I didn't update you guys on, and it's Uber. You can see on the board that I'm not short anything anymore. We got out of this about 5 minutes ago, and again, it's when the market was ripping, and we missed that very bottom on Uber. We were holding this sort of, not as a proxy or anything, it was the one that we didn't like to the short side, so we made sure that we hit that and then got out. So we take 50 cents there, and then unfortunately we only ended up with the 30 cents at the end. So 80 cents in total, but still, we should have, again, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I mean, whatever. The market was looking pretty sick there for Uber, but then obviously the NASDAQ, so on and so forth, started to rally. Ford, just taking some out. We are right here, man. We're flat now on Disney. So we took some profit in the pre-market. That's good. We have no trades, obviously, that were lower. No sells that are lower than these buys. So hopefully we can get back to the upside and take out some of these levels. I'm at 156 now, and then we'll hold Disney and see if we can't, just reverse course. So we'll get out at 156 because we missed that last time right there. So we will not get out, sorry. Get out of half of the trade that we have left right here. So, come on, Bob. Let's go to the upside right now, and we'll see if that can work. But that's that. AMC, guys, I don't know. Where is a price target for AMC right now? We're at the high of the day, 1850. I was thinking we could take 19 today. So let's wait. Yeah, so let's just wait. Let's wait. We'll do the Arun style here, where we're, normally I'd be out because it's 1850, but we'll wait for 19. If it goes up here, we'll get out, and then we will probably punch along anyways. So let's get out there, take the risk off around 1890 or so, and then we will hit AMC longer if it does break back above $19. So far so good here. We've got 99 problems, and Disney is one.
So just notice there, I just put in the chat, and I'll make a correction. I said I got stopped at the high of the day in CCL, only to notice it actually hasn't broken the high of the day. So I'll jump back in, actually pay like 2 cents on the spread to get back in and out. But the stop is going to be at that high of the day, so we're going to throw that in there. Someone asked in the chat that I don't know how we're long or what positions we have. It's confusing. The position board at the bottom, that indicates the current positions that we have and the actual prices we have them in. So you will see it change in real time. There's a bit of a couple of seconds worth of a delay. And then YouTube, of course, has about a 10-second delay itself. That that's how you can follow along. You'll always see our positions there unless something breaks, which realistically pretty much never happens. So make sure you check that at the bottom, guys.
I was going to say the complete opposite.
What? It's usually
People's Trader.
Just fine.
It does. Yeah, usually it is fine, but we've broken that software before.
There was another halt, by the way. I did see that was like ANGH halted up. ARAB was the one I was looking at. It's actually trying to hold 350. Money. If it breaks out again, 420. The big level on that one. That's a good song.
What's up, Henry? What's up? Thanks for the 420 super chat there. What up, Henry? What up, gangsta? Thank you so much for that as well. I don't know. I guess you want me to talk about Palantir, Henry? Nah, not yet. Here we go to the upside on Disney. And again, I'm just watching this because everything else is in cruise mode right now. I don't even want to buy these dips, honestly. I don't have that many shares. It's a problem because it's not in the money. And right now, how we've been trading, this is the only one that I'm concerned about. So we could get out of PayPal. That was something that I was looking at right now, as PayPal did hit that high, and now it's coming back, and it's right here at VWAP. I mean, we have a great price down here of 120. I hate to say I'm willing to give this all back. It's just I'm not expecting it to dive here. So it just did do a dive, but back here to VWAP, this might even be a reload spot. It's just I'm already long, and I don't know about that reload right now, but it's at VWAP. This might not be a horrible time to reload it. The problem is we're still down on the stock today, so a little bit of a slippery slope. Come on, Disney. Again, guys, we are so close to getting out of... Oh, we did get printed on Disney. Yes, sir. Okay. I see you, sausage man. We just got out right there on Disney, right at that 155.65. Oh, that's why. It's because I was waiting at 155.90 and I brought it down on that move. So that's why we got out. But still profitable here. Let's go to the upside on DIS. Target now that we've just taken this out. Let's go up here, guys. Let's see if we can get a 157.50 on Disney now for the rest. As Ford rocking, PayPal rocking, Roblox rocking, and Brendan always rocking.
Sonos, another one that reported guys aftermarket yesterday. A nice move higher up to 30. We're trying to get back above 28 right now after a bit of a dip to open for SONO.
And finally got into Twitter. So Twitter patient with it, right? Like it gets to that 38 level. I didn't want to chase it down at 37. It gets to the pre-market bottoms. Remember, this is also where it goes positive, negative. 37.80 was yesterday's close. So you're at that flipping point as well. If we can get back down to 37, that'd be the first leg out there. And otherwise, we're just going to try to hang on to it. Snapchat basically barcoding as well as it tries to break through that 40 level. I want to take you to DWAC just because, I mean, everyone likes to look at that name. It's still very close to, ooh, I did that thing where I typed New York first. So it's still very close to that 85 to 87 level. Those are the two price areas that are worth it for either breakouts or for fading it. And until it gets there, it's not much of a story for me. AMD, because the market looks like it's trying to hold up here, if we get back to 128, which it looks like we might do, it could be worth the reload. AMD, I was willing to let it ride once it held that bottom, because to me the upside of us making a bit of a bounce back was too good to ignore. So if this ends up stopping out, we'll have given up a bunch of the gain. It would mean that the shorts are likely to come in. That's a snap in Twitter. And Twilio, by the way. Come on, Twilio. I see you guys talking about it. Just want to make sure we covered some other names. Remember, it tried to, this little breakout, it has to get past this level. It couldn't get past it at the open. Ends up doing the curl. In terms of support, this is kind of like end phase. Why did this not go? This is kind of like end phase, where it's just, where is your actual support level going to come in? You can guess at, and this is what I'm calling it here, previous resistance turning into support. That's 215. I wrote it down here. Didn't think we were going to get there, but 215 getting pretty close. If it puts a bit of a turn at that price, I think that's about the only place that I would dig into it. That's $4 from here. It did put a failure right at that possible breakout point at 33 and rolled over. I was looking for it to break out from that price. Clearly, it went the other direction. That's why when you're playing a breakout, you want to see it sustain above that price level. Twilio couldn't do it. 15. We said it would move $15 or $20. 15 is your next support. I'd buy in front of it just to take a shot because the market is still bouncing here.
Marissa asking me for what a good amber beer is, because I think she's making some beer-battered cod or something tonight, which should be great for dinner. So I can pick up some beer after work. So there we go. Okay, Roblox right now, but she needs it before then, I guess. So Roblox bouncing around right here, 69, 69.40. We'll see if that coming through right now, but we don't have any new positions. What I was looking at actually was Microsoft. It's still debating taking that PayPal as we dropped now down to 121, 122 flat here. Microsoft just starting to take it out, and we are still above the 50 period. Microsoft was a great buy down here at 303. Obviously, it bounced around there. We were too busy with all these other positions and missed this. But that was a great buy, and now you're up $2 from there. So stupid. Like we say, stick with the best, stick with what you're good at there. And Mr. Softy is what I'd trade. So a little bit, not embarrassed, but we should have had that one for sure there on Softy. But missed it, but we'll move on from that. That's Mr. Softy, a nice little bottom out there, and you can see what's happening right now to the futures. So your boy is loving life as Ford goes right back to where we need it to, right back up 2 days high. We're still on this trade. We still have a third of this trade, waiting at 35 to get some out. Here it comes. Motor, PayPal, Roblox still $2 in the money. PayPal. We just said we were debating buying some at 122 flat. We didn't do it, but here it comes, taking out VWAP again, man. The market is on fire today. Made back half of what we lost and now making new highs on the day in the market here. I mean, not new highs from CPI number, but new highs since we've dumped this down. So let's wait to see. We just took out that 14,870 there. So now it's up to the upside. We're just cruising. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. So no problems here. Just obviously missed some of those reloads. Roblox, $3.
Yeah, AMD did miss the reload. It didn't get to 128, unfortunately. Looks like maybe the longs are coming back in. Like, you're not going to see me doing much. Either Snapchat breaks the high and we get out, otherwise it flushes. Similar thing going on with Twitter. And then we're just going to hang on to that AMD trade to see if it can get back. Just got back through 130. Oh, goodness. Now you have me saying that.
Got that ARAB money, man.
It's AERB. And then it's American Rebel Holdings is actually the company, which I haven't even mentioned one time. Back up towards its high of the day, that 380. You're going to see it bounce off of VWAP. I don't really care about VWAP too much, but it does bounce here at 340. Puts in a lower high. This is a stop that I'll have at the high of the day, not at 4 or 420, but at the high of the day with the 370 short. And then looking to play it back into 40s and 50s, maybe hang on to it all the way back into 3. Remember, this is a very low float name. If it breaks the high, it could halt on you. That's why you don't give it the extra room.
All right, let's go, man. one of these kind of days today, man. Join the carnival, have the parties, go eat some really unhealthy hot dogs, because right now AMC is rocking 90 cents. Like, look at these trades, 90 cents in the money on AMC. Like, gave you all of these guys. I hope you're hitting it with me. Ford, boom, up to 35. We called that 35. There it is. There's 35 on Ford. We still got a third of that trade left as we take some out. Now we don't have a third. We have about, I don't know, 25% left. We'll do the math after. PayPal, nice move back upside as well. That's $2 in the money, $3 in the money on Roblox. How's your day going, Brendo?
Busy so far, guys. Datadog still trying to get above 180 here. At another volume alert there at 180. So nice day, though. 15% still for D-Dog.
D-Dog.
Just adjusted my stop and got the next leg out here in AREB. Mixed result, though, because Snapchat just took out the high, so we're out of that short. Twitter's still in the range, right? Like, it's below the 38.70 support, just checking on my chart there. If it starts to curl again, then I'll take that one to the short side. I don't want any part of going long in Twitter, and it's nowhere near the high at this point. AREB, if it breaks...
He's got that AREB money.
Oh, goodness. I don't even know why I bother saying it the right way. If it breaks 340, I do think it's worth a hold down to possibly $3, and it is running the risk of halting to the downside. So there's one other scalp I'll take out here in front of the low of the day at 340. I'll just get on the bid right now because it's getting pretty close. And at that point, I think the floodgates could open up on this name. Like, we're trading it at 270 with a 10-cent stop. Now it's almost 80 cents higher than that. So this one definitely can be a bit of a runner. And still, like I said, there's not much to do with AMD here, because at this point, if it breaks 130.60 with the market coming back, you might be coming back to these highs of the day. So I think it's got at least $3 or $4 in this trade. And there's not really anything that's telling me that's not the case here, Brendo.
Yesterday, trying to go here, CGC just popping back up. Also, AMC highs, guys, back above this high from yesterday. They were talking this morning about exploring the idea of selling popcorn outside of their theaters, so in grocery stores.
Boy, we'll pop that popcorn up and we'll go.
Oh my God.
Because there it goes, man. AMC, guys, to the moon and beyond. Because look at this, guys. A nice move up to 19. We took a 19 break, like we said. But look at this long, man. 1785. 1785. And you're like, okay, you know what? It's just a fluke, right? Like, there's no way that, you know, you would put down levels and do that before they actually happen, right? Nah, there's absolutely no way, but obviously there is a very, very good way. AMC, support back to 1780? What? We're long 1780? What a surprise. There it is. Look at Ford. Let's test Ford off 18. We did that yesterday. Let's go. How about the short on Uber? Done. Made that cash. Disney, up on Disney today, but a losing trade. Roblox, support at 68. Okay, let's check out Roblox right now. If you're not following the sticky note, guys, honestly, up to you, but Roblox 68 is on there. Here's Roblox 68. Your boy taking it, 68, 67.50, 67, right? Bang, 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 bang. We have to hold it $1 against us to make 4? Yes, please. Come again, Neil. Great trade there on Roblox. That's why we're trying to hold these things a little bit longer. Obviously, the market has boomed today, but it came down to key levels. We got it, and now we'll just let Roblox fly to the high side as we are now. Definitely getting elevated. This market taking off, man. We've got the longs. We just need Disney to go.
Yeah, no one's going to like what I'll probably say about AMC here. You look at this 19 level break, and obviously, I already said I don't like breakouts when it has to travel that far. You can sort of see what happened here at that 17.80, 18 from yesterday's action. But if it breaks 19, this is what you're running into. You are still running into that 20 level, and at this point, it can still be a fail break. It is wicked high above every single one of the 1860 break, and then went 20 cents and reversed. You had an 1840 break, it went 30 cents and then reversed. You had a break of that high again, it went to the top and reversed in here this morning. So until it really carries through above 19 even, up here smells like all kinds of a trap to me, and I'd rather play it the other direction. You're either long at the bottom, or you're waiting patiently for your opportunity near that top. I got the next leg on AREB. I'm not going to say it the wrong way again. And like I said on AMD, I'm just going to hang on to this trade. At this point, you look at a couple of days ago, this was a 132 top after the gap up. That's about the only level that matters to me. It's still trying to break out on the daily. And then coming to Twitter, which we just added to the short here, if you look at this range that it put in in yesterday's trade. When it got through 38 at the close, it got to this 38.50 area. That's essentially the cluster that we're working off of for the short trade. And then your first outs are down around this 37 to 37.50, and then the rest at 36. So that's one, again, planning to hold on for a wider range here. It's not really meant to be any kind of a scalp trade. It's just the stock that I feel more comfortable holding on to the short. And AREB, worth noting, because if you are, for some reason, shorting this name, it broke the low. So I did get the next leg out there. We're definitely happy to ring the register, but it immediately found some support. I still think it's got resistance that can be faded. The stop is not going anywhere. I'm not letting it retake the high of the day. I'm likely to put a target bid in front of 3 even. That's just a round number. I think it's sort of obvious if it gets down there. Whoops, oh, give me a break. I just wanted to put a trailing stop. I'm just going to get back in because I keystroked out of it. So that's me paying the spread to get back into it on a keystroke. But I still think 3 even is going to be the key price. Otherwise, do not let this one take the high of the day. And last but certainly not least, to come back over to, I don't know if you're still in Uber.
No. Took that
Uber,
cash.
Uber getting very close towards the high of the day. 45 is a pretty monster level on the daily chart. Worth noting here, pre-market highs and where it's settled, 42.5, 42.75. So a tight stop trade in front of 43 is doable, but 45 the bigger level on the daily chart. So I would take 2 swings at this. Just looking for names that have some relative levels that you can work off of here. And Uber does stand out at that 43.
Uber, we already took that down right now, so that's a good one there for us on Uber. And again, we wanted the short back here near 44, so if it does blow up to the upside, then we will take said trade off, or put it on, I guess, back up to 144. Look, Ford just getting that out, no problem. We talked about the reload, and we did not do it, but I'm going to hit this anyways. We should have been down here at 122. We talked about that. We even talked about it at VWAP. Would have been a fine reload as well. But PayPal right now starting to work as we just going ham right now, guys. This market is blowing up for me to the upside. So we did. Oh darn it! So we did take AMC there through 19, and we again, man. We took that cash out on AMC one more time. Spin it again for you. But you know, it broke back below 19. So here's the long on AMC. Right? It won't be the trade of the day. I mean, we have so many hot fire trades, but you have this long here down here at 1780. That was a great long. This is a. We talked about 19 being a great long. It's just I let it go for some reason. We took 15 cents right there, and then it breaks 19 and we get out. Look at it go. 1930 now. Could be top heavy, man. I mean, we went up 15% yesterday. Still going though on Uber, on AMC. We do have a little level there at 29. I was gonna say that's nothing, but there it goes. Continue to work to the upside. Uber, I keep saying Uber, but AMC to the upside. $4 now as Roblox taking out highs as well, bouncing around this area. We did yesterday get as high as 172 basically on that NFT news or on that partnership news, but you could see down here 71.80. Maybe we could cash some of it out, but again, I kind of want to hold on to this. Let's see what this market does. Almost brought it not all the way back, but a nice, beautiful rebound here. Since we've opened up right here, we've only had a few red candles, so definitely pause for concern on some of these longs. But man, this has been a good day.
Yeah, and so Uber, which you were mentioning, I just got into Uber, by the way, so I guess it's a little bit of a coincidence, but 42 has been a level, like Sean talked about that. There was a buyer in the pre-market. I'm not saying there will be one again, but you absolutely never know. It did round off at 42.5 in front of the 43 top. So, 1-to-1 in front of 42, taking some profits going to make some sense. With the market in rebound mode, it does make sense that if you have a tight stop short, to make sure you're scalping some out here. So I will do that if we get down on Uber. AREB still holding that 345 range, and Twitter starting to do a bit of a rollover. Just keep in mind, Twitter's not the intention isn't really to have take 5 or 10 cents here. It needs to break that 37.50, needs to get down to 37, and even then we still want to hold to the low of the day. They glossed over their report with the buyback, and obviously it's still relatively weak. Brendan's at the big screen. It is time for Happening Now.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock, pretty impressive rebound here right across the board. So back to 0.4 for the S&P. The Dow almost went positive there, a bit of a pullback currently. The Russell pretty weak so far. NASDAQ as well trying to bounce currently 0.72, 0.53 for the composite and the 100. NASDAQ, a couple of things we were discussing. Neil just went over it, but I was going to mention that Twitter as well. Right back to these highs, basically on the daily chart. So a nice rebound off that 36 at the bottom there for Twitter. Decent volume on the way back up as well. It's worth mentioning. And Twilio, another one that came off pretty hard there at the open to 220, but right back to basically where it started on the day, guys. Back over to you.
All right, guys. Disney, guys, finally making that dream happen. So where do you want to go? I'm going to Disney World. Here to the upside there, and we'll see if Joe Burrow goes there this Sunday. But there it is, man. Hells to the yeah right now, because that's it again. It's another chicken dinner winner brought to you by the Sticky Note, brought to you by the People's Trader as we continue to go to the upside right now. Look at these winners. $1.50 on Disney. It's funny because I just put a bid down here at 154. $1.50, $1.50 on that. 38 cents now. 30 cents on Ford, guys. One in. I mean, is this going to be? We can't do Ford back-to-back trades of the day, or was it yesterday? PayPal might have been the trade of the day. I don't even remember. Now that's starting to go back up to the upside. So look at these trades we have on right now, guys. $1.10 in the money here. 40 cents in the money on Ford, which is probably the most impressive. $3 in the money on PayPal. And the number for Roblox? Cuatro. $4 in the money right now on these trades. So, hey, we're going to go perfect today. Oh, that's another reminder. I got to get Street Fighter on here. My favorite video game. Neil prefers Mortal Kombat. I actually have the Mortal Kombat.
Because Mortal Kombat was at the Becker's or the convenience store next to the high school. That's all. So we played. Like, they didn't have a Street Fighter. They had a Mortal Kombat. So we were
J&J, two blocks north, had Street Fighter.
But I'm lazy like that, man.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so anyways, go ahead, because we just went over all of our positions. We're just going to look for some new ones.
Yeah, I just want to show you guys AMD. I did get out of all of it, but on the chart here, you had that 128 level from yesterday, resistance, support, blah, 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 blah. And then it gets right to this consolidation from yesterday's action. And at the same time, this is what you had going on in the futures. This is the ES getting right back to previous lows. The NASDAQ doing basically, well, almost the same thing. So, the idea of support turning into resistance, that's a target I was going to look for. Twitter comes out as we broke back into the upside, so I decided to go both ways here. So the short's not working. Well, I mean, Uber, that's weird. So literally, as I got stopped out, I was about to say the short's not working, and then Uber actually checked down. So correction, one short not working, Uber back to that 42 level. We do ring the register there. I might look for a reload in AMD, but it's too far away out of the range now. 128 sort of came and went. But Twilio, on the other hand, Twilio, I talked about 215, and sometimes, look, if you stepped, it was weird because Enphase I was willing to take $3 away from the bottom. In the case of Twilio, I wasn't. Twilio right back up towards that 232, 233. Well, remember, it couldn't break out of this level. So, yes, I was looking to bottom pick this name. That was $15 ago. Now it's back up to the same level that got rejected at the open. To me, that signals if I thought it was a time to get out of AMD, it's a time to look at that short off of 33 in Twilio. Brendo.
One from the past couple of days. SOPA, S-O-P-A, trying to go here again. Just broke 420 there on a volume spike, up 20% again here for SOPA, guys.
SOPA.
Of course it broke 420. How does every stock end up at that price?
Oh, Neil.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Not every stock, but a lot of stocks do that for sure. Okay, so yeah, we'll find a stock to get to 420. Which one do we want to get to 420 here? Yeah, we don't have any of those ones on board right now.
AREB. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Let's go to AREB again, and we'll do our favorite graphic one more time for that stock if I can find it. There it is. Okay, so Ford right there, 140 just took some out, so we're going to have to watch out. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, man. As Disney right now up $2. Just make sure I don't have any offers out on this one. I don't want to get out of Disney right now. They made those bottoms. I mean, this is as clear as day trade, and I just can't believe I didn't take this. As soon as it made this move down, I put a bid down here at 154. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what caused this, but it just banged to the upside there, which is great. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, I wish we would have got the reload down there, but I was honestly waiting down here at 154.10. So that doesn't come in, but there it goes, right up to the upside, $2 in the money on that one. Ford continuing to go. News on Ford a minute ago. Remote parking feature planned. Okay, well, whatever. I'm expecting electric vehicles to have some kind of great technology in them, so thanks, Ford, for that one. Things ripping, man. We talked about crypto before. We can look at Ethereum right here. Wow. Big move down for Ethereum today. off the number. And I said to you guys, remember, like I was clearly here. I said, I don't know why crypto would be going down on this, but it was a 1% move down and everyone was like, crypto's crashing. There it is, retaking the highs again on, wow, close enough to the
fairness,
highs for crypto. Go ahead.
I think there was just one or two people in the chat that maybe didn't realize that CPI had moved risk assets to the downside and we're just only looking, if you're only looking at one thing and you didn't know it was CPI, you think that, that something crazy had happened, but it was just, risk assets moving. I didn't talk about targets on Twilio. Apologies.
Roblox.
228, previous pre-market low. That'll be the first out, not VWAP. That's 1-to-1 risk to reward. And then if it breaks VWAP, you got these 220s in here to the downside. The market is checking back right here at those highs. So as long as we can't get back above this 149.80 or so, I think it's safe to be looking at some particular highs there. So like I said, about $3 we're looking for in the first part. And then AMC, very similar to what I talked about a couple of minutes ago, as the market gets to those highs. Come on, one of these. There you go. AMC getting to that $20 level. That's the level I'm looking for. I think it can be reversed. I know nobody wants to hear it. But on the 15-minute chart, that's the level I was looking for it to push into. Now it's getting to 20 even. So waiting for it to get to a key level before putting on any trades. So, hey, I mean, every ape's going to hope I get run over. For your sake, it happens or it doesn't. But this is an entry I'm going to take almost every single time. It's 20 even. It's a pretty clean out. If it does a failed break, which means it breaks 20 even, let's say you go 15, 20 cents, maybe can't get through those quarters, and then snaps back down, I just simply look for a re-entry on that trade, probably somewhere in the 90 to 95 range. But the only level I'm willing to stand in front of was that 20. The 19, yes, it was there from yesterday, but that was a breakout trade I liked that afternoon just for a scalp trade. Like once you're into here, when you run this much into a breakout, I'm not really going to be taking it. That's just my experience. I never really liked those. So AMC is a new position for me. It can take out 20 and still be worth it to come back in. AMD looks like we did get out of it, and maybe, whoops, that didn't even flip for you guys. Maybe a little bit early. I still like the idea that the futures were trying to check up, but we could have held on. If it comes back down into 129, I am going to look to be able to get back into that trade, but I'm only buying dips in front of levels that I absolutely love. There's your 20 break on AMC, so we'll take a 20-cent hit. Now look to see if it can actually hold the 20 level for a continued break. The only way I'm getting back in is if it's sub 20 even. If it continues its push like it's doing now, can get through that quarters, then it hasn't really trapped anybody. Like no one's trapped in the long trade. Anybody averaging into the short at this point is still looking to get stopped out. They're not feeling any kind of relief here, guys. So you're still in the midst of a break. And as this kind of goes to the upside, looking at relative weakness, market just got through that level up to 15 hundo almost on the NASDAQ, and Uber's still looking relatively weak here. Like you're seeing it resist that 42.5, resist that 43. So that's what I was looking for. Twilio as well. You see it trying to get back, and I'll zoom back in for you guys. You're seeing it trying to get back above this level here, and it's just about managing the trade. What I want to see happen is if we break towards 1500, what's the status of a short position? AMC, that's a momentum name. Stop at that level. But with a Twilio, is it breaking higher or is it resisting that point at the same at the open where it couldn't get through? That's what we're seeing. You break the high in the futures, Twilio still unable to break through that high. That's what Uber is doing. AREB, which is the other position that we're in here, you'll see it still holding at these lows. Now, I understand it's a small cap. It probably doesn't care what's going on in the overall market. It tried one more time to break to the high. I haven't changed my target out to one in front of the low of the day, one in front of $3. If it gets down there, it'll be a good trade. It's not there yet, but you've got to make sure you're managing your active movers. And then the other one that I never got into today, and we've looked at Facebook literally every day this week. This is probably the only day that we haven't. And truthfully so, it wasn't at that 220 level that we liked from yesterday or the last couple of days. And really, when you look at the top end here, like it broke the high just now, but it was 220s and 230s that we liked. And 230, that was somewhat successful till it broke. But that 220, that was the key turnaround price. It's nowhere near that when the markets dip back into the downside. Breaking out of the high here, like where would you even think about shorting it? Not till 240. So big move, but no levels that I absolutely loved, unfortunately, here in Facebook. That's the only reason we're not in it. But it's still put in a $10 move. That's worth at least mentioning.
Thank you, Neil, for holding the fort as we are now with coffee. So there it is. So, a Turkish delight coffee.
Turkish delight. There's no flavored coffee here.
No. Turkey has that. There's a technique that you can use. I forget what it's called. It's Greek, Turkish. We have a place right there. This is just espresso coffee, but okay.
I thought you got a flavored coffee.
No. I have hazelnut in the bad boy right here, but we're almost done that. Who knows who this character is, by the way? Tim, do you know who this is, Tim? Among Us. There you go, Tim. Yeah, Mr. Cheese is in the building right now. So shout out to
youngin, right?
Shout out to Tim. I don't know how young. I don't know how young Tim is, but I mean I know what that is, and I'm pretty young. Okay, I don't even know if Tim has kids. I don't know what his story is. I'll have to talk to him after. Okay, so right now Roblox. PayPal, Ford, all the same. We're going to try to get out of some of these, maybe. But if the market continues to rally, like why the hell would we get out of any of these? So let's just keep on rocking and rolling, and let's go to Brendo.
Another one moving here, guys. Canada Goose, we mentioned down on earnings, but trying to retake 28 here. So just had a big volume alert there at 28. So we bounced off 27 back to 28. Yeah, the report not good. 28.5, maybe a better level for Canada Goose.
Down 18, yuck. Yeah, well, I mean, like we said, they're kind of like a seasonal thing anyways. Like you usually try to play them to the long side before the winter or when the winter's starting, not now. I didn't think 18% on that stock, to be honest with you, so that's a bit of a surprise for them. All we care about right now is going to be whether Twilio can hold up. The market got to 15,000 and just did a bit of a turnaround there. And then I do have to monitor AREB, which is trying to get back towards this little high. It put a wick high through 350, and there has been a bit of a seller at that 350 level. It's not worth the re-entry. We already kind of took one here in front of 55. You can see that with a 52 price, and it's starting to find some resistance. It still could halt to the upside, so at all times, got to have a bit of a stop there. And like another name that we've been ignoring, not intentionally, but Tesla, you probably know I like 950. It got to like 930 here just now, but you talk about top to bottom moves, Tesla 905 all the way into resistance at the top. If you're wondering why the market's looking like it or feeling like it might be turning, you have a few names that are at these key prices. You have the NASDAQ at 15,000, Tesla off the highs of the day there. AMD got to about 130. Facebook was trying to take out the top, and you're getting a little bit of a rollover. I'm positioned reversed into the shorts that feel like they're going to be working. Uber just retook that 42 level. So that looks like it's going to start to roll over. I really don't have much to do with Uber until it gets, until Uber gets to about 41 and a half or so, if this chart will ever load up for me. So, at this point, we're just managing the position, and that chart is not going to load for me. It's literally counting down, not up. Yeah, no, I already have. It's weird. Like, I already have.
I know how to solve it. Just go to Uber, and then you got it. No, not on. You got to do it on the chart. It's messed up. We'll figure that out after. Okay, so the only real mistake that I've had all day today is just not holding on to AMC. Like, wow. I know. Anyways, whatever. That's just that's my bad on that one. We should have held on to that. You guys called that trade, and we made money. I mean, AMC is a positive name for us, like I said today. But yeah, okay. Here comes the market back down. So we got to find some outs here because we're already we're so far in the money. I was going to use 123 as an out here, back to the 50 period. If PayPal takes that out, I think that's worth getting out on. We've already had a beautiful run to the north side here, so let's just get some of these out. We only have 10% again of Ford. I think we did a fantastic job here holding this as much as we can today. So I think that was a good move to the upside. Disney came right back in. I mean, we were just at, didn't even have an offer out. I remember I said 157.50. Should have had my offer out there, didn't. So that's going to hurt on that one. Darn it. Let's just reload this at 154.
Someone made a good point, and they said, Neil should have got into it. Should have or would have or whatever it was, got into AMC because the conditions were met. Here's the thing, I didn't. And the reality is when you're looking to take it, on the way back in, anybody's going to get a fill if you take the short in front because it runs into you and it takes you out. On the way back down, it's a wick top. The first consolidation was there, but I never chase the trade. If I miss it, I miss it, and you just accept it. So I wanted to get in at that same range where it consolidated. I didn't get the trade. So, that's fine. My face, it happens all the time. It's the cost of doing business. In the other case, like Twilio does look like it's reversing here. So, this might have been a miss at the bottom because in end phase I was willing to step in front of the level a bit more aggressively yesterday, and that worked out. Twilio, it didn't quite get to that 215. Like it got to 218. I think like 218.18. So it was still a little bit far away. Didn't want to take it there. And once you've missed out on a long on a stock like that, I'm not chasing the long. Like it had to be in front of that level. I'm not going to chase it. We wait for it to get back to the top. I've taken some out in front of VWAP. Now it's just, what is the market going to do? Are we actually running away from those highs in the futures and going anywhere near back to 14.8, 14.85 or so? If that's the case, Twilio should retest those lows. At least come down to like a 220, 222. That's where the target would be. I think we can get 10 bucks on this trade. We've already got the scalp there. And like I said on Uber, until it gets down to 41, I don't really have much of a decision to make. Like we've got the top. We're just pretty much calm. Again, if you don't have the long off of 40, and you didn't already take the short, you wait for it to come to the price level you like. Now, granted, you'll take the stop. I took the stop out on Twitter. I took the stop out on Snapchat. And you do that because when you finally get one that goes, you can then hang on to the bigger winner. Now, obviously, I kind of like getting out in front of 40 even here. That's an obvious level. And I can hold on to something a little bit more risque if it wants. Well, what did I bid? 40.35, meant to bid 40.55. So just going to adjust my order there. You can hold on to something that I think showed a little bit more weakness through that low of the day. But ultimately, the initial reaction on Uber was to go to the upside on the earnings play. So that's not the name that I want to hold through a level break of the low. And that's the same thing with Twilio. Like ultimately, they came up on good growth, so I wouldn't be trying to hold Twilio through the low of the day. I'd be happy if it just gets back there.
Okay, we just got out of PayPal right there. So PayPal breaks down through 123. We'll take that out there and see where we go. I mean, it's just a big win for us. So just didn't want this market to completely crash down and then we don't have it. I mean, I was looking at this 122 area as well. That could have been a great area to hold out for, but we do take it out just at 123. We actually get a good price, 122.95. And then we have new position alerts. So let's go on this one. Let's see what happens now with Microsoft. And we are now long this name at 13s here on Softy. So first leg, if we can get 08s, I think that'll be pretty good here, especially if we bounce off some of that top. So let's wait to see if we can get that on Softy. Otherwise, we'll wait for a 306. But we are kind of bouncing around this 50 period. It's all just a matter of what you think of these futures at this point, guys. Like, if you like the long here, I think there's a lot of trades, a lot of good opportunity. It's just, again, the only stock that we dumped out of right there was PayPal. Just to go back to Disney, it hasn't. We're positive on every name today, by the way. So, well, you can see that obviously on the board. But I was looking, and I do have a bid back down here, 154.50. So if Disney comes back into this area, we'll test along again. I don't know what that spike was about, but we take advantage of it. We should have just got the rest out up there. But we are only holding now 10% of our initial trade. So we have 10% of that. We have 10% of Ford. We have 10% of Disney left. We have not a full position, but we just took Microsoft. And then we only have about 25% of Roblox left. So actually 20% left of Roblox as that's hovering around. Oh. I'm going to use like a 69.50 out for Roblox. So if that does come through, that's what we'll look at there. We may also reload it. Well, we will reload this at 70 and then use 69.50 as our out. Like take $4 winner, lose 50 cents. That ratio works for me. So let's stick on the bid here of Roblox.
Yeah, I just pulling up a name that got mentioned in the chat there. It is a bit of a mover, and I want to show it just because of the wick top it has here. CLSK. It just broke through high of the day, 915 here. You can sort of see that high of the day and, of course, yesterday's high. Put in a wick to 940 and then started reversing. So what you kind of want to see is it's back and forth in between that previous high until it gets below. I don't think it's all that weak. 950 is the kind of top. I'd like to see it how it behaves if it retests that high. You get a big volume spike, stay away from it. If it runs toward that high on low volume, it's likely a bit of a fade. It's going to hang on to what we have as our winners and head over to Brendan, who has a fun one this morning. I think I'm actually still in it, but it's been pretty mixed for me on AREB. But let's get the small cap recap.
Yeah, crazy two-way action in a lot of these tiny ones this morning. Low float, that was the key for me on AREB, 4.4 million shares. So was only looking long. There was two levels, really 275, and then that was around 290 to 3. So once it started to go, I took some out at day highs, and then it was so strong on the tape, I just added that right back in again. It goes all the way to 380. So still have a piece, see what happens at 380 for AREB. Another one, IRNT with two-way action, crazy two-way action. I started on the short side just versus 440, I should say. That as well, visibly strong. at the open. So flip that long, took the long up to 495. It got back below 450, which is that high. So I'm now short once again versus 450 on IRNT, but there's a buyer around 420, 430 that's buying up a lot of shares. So we'll see what happens. Another one, DCFC, that had a forever buyer down here at 13, was just accumulating and accumulating shares at 13. So long versus 1350 here, trying to get up through 1450. This one had such a huge range yesterday, guys, for DCFC. Back over to you.
All right, so we're getting in trouble from Laura here because we're not asking for likes, and that makes sense, right? So let's ask for likes here. 1.3K, 7,000 watching. If you guys can hit the like button, if you like what we're doing right now. Information on Twitter, right? Sticky Note Nation, what's up, guys? Watch list, big time going on here. Neil making money, I'm making money. We're in lots of trades here for you today so far. We had that AMC money, let's go. We had Ford money today. We have Microsoft money we're about to put in the bank as well. We've got Roblox, $4 in the money. And we tried to get longer there. We missed it. Our bid on Roblox is 70.11 right down there. So we missed that bid. But here it goes, guys. Turn that like button. Let's see if we can get to 2,000 likes, and then we'll go from there. So far, so good. Let's go Roblox. Target, not really have one. Let's see if we just continue to go higher. Maybe the market turns green today, and all will be good on that one. So far, so good here. Let's just continue to motor to the upside. The S&P is only down 0.33, so it's not horrible. Tesla's about to try to go green here. Tesla's at 930 right now, so TSLA, it's close. It's close to going green right now as well. So Tesla, I'm guessing these are just day charts here. Let's go to a minute chart. Yeah, wow, good bottom there at 9 bills, all the way to the upside right here. So again, catch a falling sword. Yes, sir. That's what we did today, man. We did that on all these trades, man. Ford, Roblox, PayPal, Uber. We really had that one dead to rights there at 42, all the way down to 40.40. That's a great trade. But again, we missed the reload. That's my bad on that one. We should have been short on Uber though. But hey guys, thank you for the likes. Already at 2,000. So right there, man, boom goes the dynamite. One ask and we almost double our likes. So good job there, guys. Let's just keep on going.
Yeah, keep on trucking, as they say. And you mentioned Uber. Uber bouncing off 41.10. So I said we're just sort of managing the position, but one of the things you got to do here is if we retake that high, you don't want to give it all back. If we break 41 even, I'm going to put a trailing stop in. Otherwise, I'm just watching how it behaves around VWAP. And it's the same thing at Twilio. Twilio was about to break to 225. It actually got to like 97. This wicked down to 202. I'm going to have to clean that up at some point. But if we do break 225, then I'm going to put a trail in here. And I have a target right now, 222, just in case the market absolutely flushes. And I want to make sure I can get some out there. But I do want to consider putting a trail. You don't want to give it all the way back to the high of the day. Really wanted to get back into AMD at some point. But look at the strength of AMD. That market pullback. So it did get to 132. I was at least a little bit concerned. That's where it rolled over at 8:30 when we had the jobs number. So I figured that's where we should be taking our profit out. Bottom to top on the jobs move. Made sense. But it did break higher and now is holding up really well. So at this point, I don't really have a reload in AMD. It just has to actually go back down to 128 or maybe like a 128.50. It just has not had a significant enough pullback, which is great for the stock. I mean, it shows you that it's holding up and showing some signs of strength. You just mentioned Tesla there, trying to get through that high of the day. Facebook turned back, and again, not really much of a pullback. It's right around VWAP. You're seeing this hold really tight to these highs. And some of these names are doing that. Some are not. That's going to be Twilio here, as it's now broken that 225. So now we're trading back into the bottom of the range. Either we're going to get this 222 or likely get trailed out back at 227 and only make about $4 on the last of that trade.
Yeah, good trade there, Twilio. We love that name. Okay, so right now, Roblox. I don't know, like just debating where to get out of this. We already have our 69.50. We will take a reload if it does come back down softy right now. Getting ready to push some more in here. We have a 306 out, so we're not going to have, I was going to say we're not going to average in, but we are at 306.40. It just touched 43. So if we come down a little bit, I mean, come on, you couldn't give me that. If we come down a little bit more here on Microsoft, we will get longer. I should have just sat at 306.50, but here we come. 306.40 is the reload there on Microsoft. We're out of the money 40 cents. So we'll wait on that one, obviously. And we're just waiting here. The NASDAQ's not doing a damn thing right now. So we'll have to wait, and that's just what it is. We can play that patience game. Trust me.
I gotta hit this key
on that one here today. Go for it, man.
I should have done this when Brendan came back from the small cap recap, because I just want to quickly show something. I've only gone short AREB. He only went long, but I promise you, well, I can't promise because I don't know where he got in, but I'm almost certain that he got long somewhere on this breakout. Now, remember when I said you have to have a stop? I'm guaranteeing you, like, my stop on the short down here has to be where he was getting the long trade. It goes right into the 4. It just broke down, so we got some out there at 335, and the rest I'm going to try to get in front of that $3. It's not just that it's a round number, but really early in the morning, I got up to 296 and put in a bit of a level. And then if you happen to go to the 15-minute here, you will see, like, look what happened the last time it tested 420, right? It got up to that level, had a nice consolidation, bounced at what price? 306. Gets up to about 3. What is this? 335. Oh, is that where we're getting out in front before? Yeah, of course we're getting some out in front of that level. And when it breaks, going to get the rest out in front of this level here. So you can trade a lot of ways. When I look at these targets, I kind of look at when it capitulates and falls and has the liquidity vacuum, where does it find price acceptance first? And I'm just getting out in that same price range, usually out in front for the scalp trade, and then let it get back down into the last level. So I'm pretty sure, Brendan obviously had a great trade to the long side. We'll hang on to that short. Twilio might trail me out here. It did break 25s. And then managed to immediately resist this 224 level. So I've got the trail in just in case the market breaks up. I cannot let this turn into a losing trade at this point. Either it extends from here towards low of the day, or we'll take the trail out. Brendo?
Another one having a big day here. Preferred Apartment Communities, which is a REIT, announced aftermarket yesterday. They're exploring a sale. That caused this move from 18 up to 21. So just took a day highs here. So APTS in New York up 20%.
Right, so we did get that reload there on Softy. We just took a piece out there for flat because, again, like, I thought this name should go here today, but just noticing we're still down that 1.5. I just went over to it because we really like Softy, but at the same time, it's not like I would have thought that it would have blown up from this with the NASDAQ starting to move back upside, and you can see what Microsoft's doing. It's actually doing the opposite right now. It's going downside, so we are lessening the risk here on Microsoft now because it's just like pick the wrong name on this one, but you could see what Roblox did on that move upside, right? We were waiting for a 70, like we said down here for a reload. We should have been waiting at the 50 period as there it goes, up, up, and away. Thank you so much. We like you a lot today, Roblox. And 35 cents in the money for this name. Let's check out, that's Disney. Let's check out Apple as well. We're gonna go no losers today, by the way. We're like the Raptors and the Leafs right here. Raptors 7-game win streak. Shout out.
Siakam nuts, dude.
Siakam, Fred VanVleet is nuts, and Anobi. We have Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes is a...
Wait to see the trade that's gonna happen today. Miles Turner's coming, so watch out for that.
I was telling you, I have Miles Turner in my pool.
Yep.
I love him. I think
him and Buddy Hield are coming to the Raptors.
He's a very underrated player, Miles Turner. He's got so much more upside. But anyways, we're
gonna give up Dragic, Boucher, and a couple picks. We're gonna get those two guys. Yeah, see you later, Boucher. Okay, LOL Raptors.
I'm joking. I was joking about Boucher, not Boucher. Like,
he's a young guy. He plays some good defense, actually. He's not a horrible player, but come on, give some love to Montreal-born Chris Boucher. What's up, Brendan?
Oh yeah, he is.
Rather large bid holding up DD right now. Oh, it just got broken, it looks like. There's about 1.6 million shares at 30 there. They printed some of it, but they might have pulled the rest, guys. But huge bid there, 430 on DD.
So we got to pick and choose here. I said, we'll use this key. You just talk about basketball.
Yep.
It's just both. So yeah, in the Raptors jersey and throwing under the bus. I just got trailed out of Twilio. And the reason, like you'll see, put the trail in on Twilio. Yeah, it's starting to get going. Now remember, they did have the earnings. The market trying to break back to the upside. I just looked at between Twilio and Uber. One was holding below VWAP, the bottom end of the range. Twilio was breaking in and going back and forth. Uber's still below that 42 level as well. So there's just a few reasons why it made a little bit more sense to say, okay, hang on to the Uber trade, allow it to maybe get to that low of the day and not mess around with Twilio. The other aspect of it is, if you remember, my initial thought with Twilio was that I wanted to be long in front of 215. So if I liked the dip buy off of the 215 area, which is closer to down here, I'm not going to be as greedy with the short trade, whereas I didn't really have any intentions on going long on Uber. I did think if it rolled over, I would get out of a short in front of 40 even. I didn't get back in until it was the reload potential. And just so you can see that ARAB, it's still holding pretty nicely in front of that $3 range. And just to go back to the market, trying to get back to that upside, Facebook looking like it's making another run at this 235. I would assume Tesla, if you're looking at the EV space, Tesla's already broken. So 950 looking like it's going to come pretty quickly. This is what it looks like on the multi-day on the 15. You'd say, oh yeah, 940 break, but this has done a U-turn off of 950 almost every time it's gotten here. And you can kind of see this is what 950 looks like. So, I play this with a grain of salt up here and ignore this. This was the Jerome Powell high. After the Fed announced at 985, that's a bit of a level as well, but 950 stands out like an absolute sore thumb. Not these. Zoom out on Tesla. Forget about here at 940. 950 is your big level, probably being tested in a couple of minutes.
Oh man, yeah, timber down. So we are going to have a losing trade here for you. We have a half hour left, so I mean that's no surprise. We should probably put some on. Microsoft, it takes down that 306 and we get out, because that's what our plan was, and then it rips up 50 cents. So we tried to get the bid back, but it took off to the upside. So we're going to wait for 306 low here. See. Damn it. It's not great, but I'm wondering, will this catch a bid at some point here? Because it's not right now, but Microsoft should be able to catch a bid here. So I'm going to go a little bit lower than this. And look, if we lose again on it, then fine. But I'm going to give it a little bit more room below 305 this time, just because last time we definitely did not give it enough. So here we go. We're back in this name. I don't like it. It's just that little bump up there. I'm just wondering why people are selling softy. It looks like we're going to learn our lesson one more time. This time it'll be a 30-cent hit instead of 50. But let's see if they hold it. They're not going to hold it. Let's see if they hold Microsoft right now. And let's go over to Brendan. $5 now for Roblox, though.
Strength in a bunch of these Chinese names again today. That EBON starting to go, just popped up on volume as well. DD we mentioned. DoorDash, guys, also getting some Uber love here, it would appear. Just back above 105 here for Dash.
I feel like
yes.
Go ahead.
Well, we should have talked about maybe Dash in context of Uber as well, because they're related businesses. Because Uber, whatever. Uber Eats delivery. I did get out of AREB. You've been hitting a key every single time I say that one, but I'm not going to hit it. People asked, why do I not have a belly dancing one? Well, Tim, if you're curious, I do have one, but it is not a good one, and there's a reason why it needs to be revamped. I have no problem with the notion of a
What is the problem with it?
It's my head on the exact same body, which I don't like personally. It's just a personal thing, right? Make a body for me that works, and it does. I don't care if it's lady.
Yeah, Tim, paint the body black, I think is what he's saying.
It's not that complicated, but to me, I just take personal issue with that. I didn't like it, so we didn't do it. AREB, I'm going to be out of this trade. And the overwhelming thing I'm about to tweet it out to say here is, do not ever, and I say it every single time we trade these stocks, do not ever short a low floater unless you can articulate exactly where you are wrong and exactly where you are getting out. If you do not have an out, you're not just risking your day, you're not just risking your month. I tell traders this, what are the likely trades that can ruin your career or ruin a month? And it is getting caught in a squeeze, right? It's just what are the things that are going to be that bad? It's probably not going to be going, not to say Microsoft or something like that. It's probably not going to be that kind of a trade because you can usually make that work for you. But you get caught at 280 and it goes up to 380. Forget about the fact that that's $1. That's a 40% move. You're destroyed. You've got to have outs for these styles of trade. And then the other way, of course, comes too. If you take a long, make sure you take profits. Does this look like a bull flag? Sure it does. But when it resisted enough time and shows you capitulation, this last test up here, is it a coincidence that there was liquidity at 370 and that's where it stalled off at that high? And then when it finally rolled over, what price did it get to and couldn't get past? That same point where there was liquidity up at 370 and then it flushed. So when you see it do this and you're long, well, maybe you want some profit at 350 if you got that breakout trade. Maybe you want to stop at 330 for a trailing stop. And sometimes the trailing stop saves you. Sometimes maybe I get trailed out in Twilio and it's a bad idea. Who knows? But you have to make those decisions. That's what managing the trade is all about. Brendo?
Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin right back to day highs, if you can believe that. Just saw this one backed. Also back to day highs here, up 10% almost.
Microsoft back, yeah, crypto's a good one, man. I mean, crypto's really battled back nicely today. No, I like, so what's up, VWAP Trader? What's your favorite flavor of premium ice cream? I like pistachio, but it's got to be like a gelato. So I like pistachio there. What's up to VWAP Trader? What is yours? You said chocolate and butterscotch. Neil, what's your favorite ice cream?
Rum and raisin, baby.
Rum and
Come
raisin.
on,
Okay,
son.
so there we go.
Son.
Rum and raisin.
So
There.
good.
I like pralines and cream as well, but I'm a pistachio guy. Okay, there he goes. Nice little move up for Microsoft again. Touches that 307. So good trade. Oh, sorry, 306.78. We'll see if it can go up the upside. Now 50 cents of the money. Made it back. Right there. So we got out, unfortunately, on it. But look what's happening to Roblox right now. You know, booyaka, all the way to the upside there for Roblox as we just buy, bang, we still in this name. So no real outs for Roblox here. Again, we tested this spot, we bounced off of it. So, hey man, good on me. I hate the fact that I got out of AMC. Should have just trusted my instinct on that one. We got out there and we should not have. Again, it's on our sticky note. Still profitable stock. So I don't really know what's not worth complaining for, but should have been able to be in that one still. PayPal, obviously we got out right there. Worst. That could have been a monster winner today. Although we're pretty much near the high of the day, although we have to still make back the Microsoft loss here for our account, but we're pretty much at the high of the day today for us, and we have so many missteps. So for me, that's a huge bonus because I could have still been in instead of having 20% of this Roblox. I could still have the majority of it. Too many outs right here for some reason. And just learning, like I said, man, put in the work. You're not going to see me sit here and make the same mistakes over and over and over again. I'll do it on a day and then we'll work on it and figure that ish out, because look what just happened right now, guys. Let's go. We on one all the way to 307 right now for Microsoft. So like I said, we let these stocks breathe a little bit, and there it goes all the way back up to the upside. So we got to get a piece out, but at least it started to go. So we're starting to feel things a little bit here, and that's always a good sign when you can do this. So again, thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you haven't done that yet. So there it is. Bang, right there again, man. We smoking one here, Neil. This has been a good day.
Yeah, Kyle Ward, I got no problems. We can go over the Tesla topic. And I was about to talk about AMC, but it broke back out. To me, the condition for that short, if I miss it, like I told you guys, I did try to catch that rebound, and it would have worked. But once you miss a trade, you just don't go back and force it. I've made that mistake before. I actually made that mistake literally yesterday and was showing you guys. So it does happen to you, but there's nothing. There's nothing in here until it gets about to $23. Now that it's cleanly broken through. Tesla, it's $950. That's that high. And if you look at it, it's really more about the 15. That daily chart still has that 3,000 wick. But yeah, it's about this 950 level. You can look at it. This is now 1, 2, 3, 4, call it 5 times. It's approached 950. The last time it got to 47s. It's about how it's behaved when it's gotten to that price. This here is on the day $90 drop, or $120 drop. This here is a $50 drop. Here you have another $70 drop. Every single time it gets there, it's in a hard right turn. It sets up for a great breakout at some point. But if you're looking at this time of day, if the market can't get through the highs, you're not trying to short this at the pre-market levels. You're not trying to short it at 940. And if you're thinking about taking profit, it doesn't have huge resistance till it gets to 950. So this is why we point out the levels. It doesn't matter whether you want to go long or short. The level is the level. Make sure you zoom out and see it. It's easy to get caught up in the moment as it's going into the upside, but sometimes you take a step back, look at where the real sellers are likely to be. Where would someone be confident stepping in front of Tesla? To me, that's at 950, and that's where the longs should consider taking profit, and that's where somebody should actually consider defending a short. 1040, kind of a mixed board somehow. There's still a few names that are red. Let's go sector watch with Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, market about to, we'll show you here, go green. Negative 0.05 for the S&P right now. Pretty mixed, as Neil was saying there, right across the board. It's kind of funny. Red on the bottom, positive on the top outside of some earnings here. Lumen was the big one today in the communication services group, down off of an earnings miss. 16% there for LUMN. Everything else, though, either slightly up or slightly down at this point, including the materials group. The energy group, nice bounce back after a red day yesterday. But in the middle here, healthcare stocks pretty red. Both the real estate group and consumer staples, along with utilities, all to the downside, being offset today by as expected. The banks, higher inflation, higher interest rates, going to benefit this group. So the entire individual banking group here in positive territory, along with insurance companies outside of, you guessed it, some earnings names, CME, MKTX in the diversified group negative, everything else positive. There's Micron, we talked about 5.4, AMD, QCOM standing out here, and NVIDIA actually red as well, 0.8 to the downside for NVIDIA, but big day for Micron. So there we go, it just did. 0.01 now, positive guys for the S&P. Back over to you.
Ooh, Nelly. Yeah, man, it's just a monster day, man. We are loving life again here today. Those of you asking, we got the custom Air Force Ones on. So, yeah, maybe that's something. I'm going to tell that. My kids got them for me for Father's Day. Initialed, everything embroidered, custom everything. So shout out to my boy Air Jordan there, although these are Air Force Ones. But, okay, not Jordans. Yeah, so big day happening right now. Look at Softy, guys. 308 right now off that long. So, I mean, that trade is working, to say the least, off this one. How about $1.80 now, Neil, in the money for Microsoft as we continue to go to the upside? This is a day today, man. We are having a day again here today. So, I mean, sometimes it's luck, but today I feel like we picked some of those bottoms on that inflation number, but the market could always move against you. So that's like the one thing. It's hard to be, and that's the one thing I got to work on myself. And I actually just told Greg this. I said, Greg, you're a smarter guy than I. Make a program that just adds zeros to every single one of my positions, and then I won't know about it, and then I don't have to get out. So I think that that's something that we'll work on here. But I don't know if Greg can do that or not, but we'll work on that. I just told you I spoke with compliance, so I don't know if that'll be happening or not. But there it is, man. Roblox, $5 in the money. Microsoft, $2 in the money. Disney, $1 in the money. So let's just keep on rocking and rolling. And again, if we did that program, I would have just trusted myself and not got out of that AMC. Look at this move today. Another 10% for AMC. Congratulations to everybody out there. It is a hot dog kind of day here, guys. So AMC, I don't know where you fade this thing, but up to $21 and rocking. And by the way, Target almost out here. 308.50 is a good one for me on Softy. I think we just take this right now, but motoring to the high side as the NASDAQ looks to go back to Greensville.
Yeah, not even considering until 23 on AMC. That's what I'm thinking. Omar, great look. I love the fact that you're looking at something like a GE here. Like when you see the market screaming like this and you're looking for a trade, a multi-day level that you're trying to break out, like forget about $100. It's just a psychological number. Like when you see that this has gotten right here, 150 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents, and had trouble breaking back out above that price, yeah, that can be faded. You do want to see it reject and get back into those quarters or so. And then, part of the problem, of course, with some of these trades, or like the idea is, yeah, I like 950 on Tesla, so I wouldn't have tried 940. I'll go to the 1 minute so you can see what's actually happening here. The other day it got to 47 and I was waiting at 48 and didn't get the short, and then it just fell like an absolute rock. Today it goes to 44. So it breaks 40, it goes to 44, doesn't get to 50 right now. Does it mean it's done? No, it could consolidate here, make that push up to 950, and then we get into the trade. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet, so I'm going to be sitting out Tesla till it does. Still feel pretty comfortable. You saw, like Sean said, another leg up on the market. 15,000 just got broken again. And here's Uber still struggling to hold above VWAP and couldn't break that 42. So we got the curl price. Here's the thing. This looks like, oh, there's that spike and fade trade you like. That was at 9:11. Like that trade, that spike and fail, like that's at 9:30 you're looking for that trade. Either it does it at the open or it did it here at about like 10 o'clock. So, I'm pretty much never going to be in a trade on an Uber. Like in a small cap, maybe I would have taken that trade. Even then, I don't know if I would have liked it. But it still feels relatively weak for me over here in Uber, so we're going to hang on to that one. Unless AMC gets to 23, maybe I'll have a stronger look at that GE. Unless Tesla gets to 950, probably not going to be forcing anything. AREB has not managed to get off the bottom at all. It also hasn't broken 3 even, so there's not much to do. Either it gets down to these lows of the day and you can work it off 250, or it tries to retest some of those highs and you can rinse and repeat some of these other trades.
Okay, maybe we're done now, Roblox here. I mean, whatever. We'll just cash this out at this point. Breaking back down below 71.60 or so. I mean, we do have this 50 period that we've been bouncing off of, so maybe we just give it to that. I mean, this is a $5 winner right now for Roblox, so hard to complain. Like I said, if we just got that program, man, we probably would be holding. But that's my own problem. I got to fix that. So we will try to hold on to a little bit more. I'm really happy with everything we did on Ford today, man. We held this name. We're not in it anymore, but this was a banger for me to the upside, man. We love Ford today. Just made a lot of money on this one. My number one stock net-wise is going to be Roblox, but right behind it is Ford. So we're getting very, very close to that. So good so far today, and nothing to complain about for me on that note. We are going to get out of Microsoft if it comes back up to 308, literally waiting at 308. I was waiting at 308.70 up here. So, hopefully now we'll get filled at 308, hopefully flat. No, wow, missed it by a cent there, but that's it. Like I should wait at 98 and then I would have got out. So that's my bad. Let's see if we can play some momentum there. But just so you guys know, we're about to wrap up. I'll probably be flat at the end of the show anyways. Roblox breaking below 71, we're out. So that's going to be my out rate there. We did have a reload down here at 70 flat, but we don't have that trade. So we're going to get out if it breaks back below this 50 period moving average, and we'll get out at 71. So just a little talk there on what our plan of action is on that name. Disney, I'm still waiting for that reload, but what a disappointing day for Disney here today. We're going to be up on the stock, but again, like just not getting the movement. We're only up on the stock because of this. Well, no, I mean, we're up on the stock if we got out right now, but we're only up decently on it because we get that spike to 157. No idea what that was about, but it makes that move to the upside. We take it. And I thought it was cruising higher than that. So whatever. I still think Disney has a chance to go. And by the way, there it is, Mr. Softy in and out. So yes, sir, we will do mac and cheesy for that one. But that one actually wasn't that easy because we wound up getting out there and then had to take it again to blow back up to the upside. So again, zero red symbols for me today, 0 red symbols. So we're pretty happy with that, considering we've had over 89 fills today, 0 red. So every stock in the Greensville here. So I think we will wipe our hands clean, look for some more opportunities, and just hold on to what we have.
Yeah, I'm starting to look at DD here. Obviously, we've talked about it. Well, not myself, but I've certainly been talked about a couple times in the show. Up 12%. It's getting closer and closer to like a round number at 450. That could be a possible level. If there's size there, at lunchtime, sometimes you might make that trade where if you see a gigantic size at an even round level, you're just taking 48 or 49 short in front of 50. On the daily chart, I was just looking like there's really nothing up there until you get to about $5 anyway. So for something like this, either it holds at a 50 level and you can do that little scalp trade. Risk to reward is going to make some sense on a DD. I didn't reload Twilio, by the way. I know it got back to that 232, went right back to that same top, and then pull back in here to VWAP. I decided against Uber that I like. I'm going to hang on to this. My initial thought and read was to go long off of 215 on Twilio. So I don't mind getting what works out to essentially like a scalp trade, really, because you're only taking $3 or $4 on the trade. It had a chance to give you more, but once that doesn't happen, to me, on the good report, holds a higher low. I thought that'd be support anyways. The last thing I need is to reload and this thing breaks back out. AMD, which was pretty clean. When I was looking at all these names, the only stock that came to a level that I really liked was AMD at 128. We let it bounce off that price first after wasn't really getting out in front of it. That's got me into trouble every time I try to get out in front of a level as it's falling. Instead, do buyers show up at the price level you like? And that did happen on AMD. It then bounced a second time off the same price area. And I actually waited for it to bounce twice off that level in the pre-market, got the 128. It's now double topped at 132. Oddly enough, at 830, that was pretty much that same high. So it goes right back to the 830 numbers, the CPI levels, and then reverses. I decided to take profit out in front of that level instead of waiting for it to get there. But either way, that's the structure of the trade. The support level is 128. The flush happened when we had the CPI number, so the out's in front of that. And then it's an easy sort of, you're not really guessing at how long you're going to hold on to. That's just how I like to structure it. Lots of movement in the markets here today. That also includes crypto. So let's go to Brendan for Money Talks.
Yeah, absolutely. It includes crypto. It also includes the currencies themselves. That is the dollar index. Crazy moves in equities we saw, but look at the DXY here. On the actual number, it goes 95.5 to 96 in a flash, and then all the way back down and right through to the lows. That's a 30-minute chart. So wild ride for the US dollar here today. Now negative 0.17. It was up significantly, 95.3. So a lot of these have reversed in the same sense, the opposite direction. The euro 0.4, Canadian dollar 0.2, British pound the big winner today, back to 136, up 0.6 on the day. Japanese yen, Australian dollar, both sharply higher, along with New Zealand here. But yeah, we saw big reversals in some of the cryptocurrencies as well. Bitcoin initial move down all the way back to basically day highs, as we said, guys. Back over to you.
All righty then. Yeah, again,
Almost
guys.
breaking a high there.
Yeah, thank you for all the support. And again, yeah, I see the AMC's exploding, and I hate myself for that. Like I said, man, that one, damn it. I mean, look at this bottom. We have 1780 on the sticky note, guys. Go follow the sticky note today. It has some great points on it today, and I know it got a lot. I mean, I'm not even asking to retweet it anymore. Look, Disney, let's see that long. We talked about that. Uber short. We hit that at 42. That goes down to 40.50. Ford, great trade. Let's repeat the 18 long. We talked about that. We have Roblox on here. Let's take the 68 long. I mean, Roblox is at $72 right now. AMC 1780 is written on here. So, you know, as the people's trader, you could see we take that trade right there. So that's the trade there. And then other than that, man, everything else pretty cashed on that note. But we only have 5 names right in there, and we traded them all. So, so far, so good. All green names on said list. Okay, so Disney, I'm going to take, so we got a piece in here, back in at that level that we wanted, 154.50 or 154.60. If we could take, honestly, like I'm just trying to get, I don't know why I just didn't get out there. I thought I had an offer, but 155, we'll get out of some at 155. Again, here it comes, ripping back to the upside, and then we'll just release the hounds, right? We'll take off some pressure here. If it does want to come back to the downside, you could see the market is cracking a little bit here. So we are now in the money 20 cents on Disney. That's not a lot, but look at the range today. Like, I don't even know what is going on with Disney. Okay, good out on Softy, guys. Sometimes, wow, here it comes coming back in. Now, make sure, Neil, we always do this ourselves. Make sure you don't have any stop orders or anything left pending because the market's crashing down here.
Yeah, that's all. You know what? As a matter of fact, I did have a couple, so I am going to clean it up. Well, they weren't going to hit, but I actually remember, like AMD, I was just talking about it. I still actually have my stop to cover the long.
There you go.
See, anyways, we've talked about that feature in the charts I would like to see. John was mentioning in the chat, thank you very much. He said, looking at Airbnb 175. I did try to pull it up on my 1 minute. Oh, goodness, yeah, that chart doesn't. For whatever reason, this chart's going to hate me, so I can't bring up Airbnb. It's an interesting look. Like, I've got the short that I love, and here's what's happening in the overall market. Yeah, there we go. So you just had a sharp pullback off of 15,000. So to me, like, if you're sitting in a short, like chasing something, like getting into something after you've had that flush, like AMD just dropped $1.50, you know, 100 points or 70 points there on the NASDAQ. I kind of feel like, you know, chasing something now, either you're in it already and you liked it, or you're holding on to it, but jumping into it when we've already retraced that far is not going to be my jam. Probably a good look. Brendan's got another mover. Ooh, it's going to be hard to get away from this one, Brendan.
Cassava Sciences, guys. There was a note in the pre-market that I saw that the latest investigation into that data set that came out going back a couple months ago was ruled in their favor. So there was an SEC investigation. There was a ruling in their favor. But this did basically nothing until 10:40 or so. So still looking here, guys, but big move for Sava.
Do that anymore. Okay, so we're just going over Neil having some charting issues. So there it is. We are now out to complete the trade. So it's a fruit salad kind of trade there. I have no idea what that means. But there it is, out on the 71 break. You know, we're looking to reload maybe down here at 70, but it's not fitting my parameters right now. The market has broken up. You can see the 50 periods turning down. If anything, we're going to want to get some shorts right now. But with only 5 minutes left to go, interested to see what the earnings calendar looks like. But Disney, you know, like now you see why it's important and why I get pissed off. I missed this out by 1 cent. And now I'm holding something 65 cents down from that level. I mean, we're flat on the trade. I mean, this is out 50 cents. We will get out if this breaks 154 here. But this is the problem. Like, was literally 1 penny. You guys saw it. I was sitting there talking about it. I was at 155 flat there to get out. And I think it printed 98s or 99s. And then boom goes the dynamite all the way to the downside. So that trade won't work out for the last one on Disney. So we will turn our day on Disney a little red here. So, you know, we are going to have one red name if this takes down 154. And again, that's what we're doing on the show, man, as honest as we can, telling you guys all of the trades and all of our ins and all of our outs. You can already see them on here, but we don't show profit, so that's why I just wanted to talk about that quickly. Roblox takes out 71. Like I said, the reload for me at least would have been at VWAP, so not really fitting my parameters, but that's what that is. And I just don't want to give anything back here, so until something really does fit what I'm looking at, I think we'll stay away. Microsoft, guys, you want to talk about a good out. Like, this name, guys, clapped right now. No idea what's going on with Softy there as it's going to the downside. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, a few minutes to go here. We'll get you caught up on some earnings to go for tonight. We're through, obviously, the biggest names this reporting season, but still some notable ones on here, guys.
Yeah, right in the middle, you're going to get some that are going to have obvious volatility, and that's going to be Affirm. Under Armour sometimes is a little bit interesting there, and Cloudflare I would expect could be at least remotely interesting. But Affirm getting very close to some monster gap levels when you get to the 85 to 90 range in resistance. You got the $80 today. 85.9 is going to be a big leg for them. And the way I look at almost everything that's like your high valuation or not making money, until I see a first report, I'm not a huge fan of making a decision on something. I said that with like Lemonade. I say that with Affirm as well. I want to see what their level of growth is going to be, and then you can make a judgment this year, because we're in a different environment altogether. As we now know, obviously rates are going to be going up, and it's a matter of how much and how fast, not whether we're in a different environment at all.
All right, so we're sitting here at 46. Maybe we get printed, maybe we do not. And about that being red on Disney, yeah, scratch that. We ain't got a red stock no more, because Disney does come all the way back up, and we go swish, swish on that one. So watch out for the NBA trade deadline happening today. And hopefully I don't get traded, but maybe I do. We will wait to see right now, but there it is, out on Disney. So we just protected that last trade there. As you could see, obviously we're up on Disney today. No need to ask that one. But there you go, boom, boom, boom. Is PaySafe reporting tonight? You know what, honestly, man, that is in like my 3/8 account or whatever they call 5/8 account right now. As this one is just going to be sitting in there and forever burning in my account. So I have no idea if PaySafe reports tonight. I didn't see it on the board. Brendan can quickly check, but it's not a big market cap. It's not really doing anything, so that's probably why. I think PaySafe doesn't do anything until they fire current management. We've talked about that. We saw, you know what? You know what's hilarious? You already mentioned this today, but like no meta for your boy today. Like I'm always all over this name. Yesterday was a great day for me on meta, man. We took $4 or $5 numerous times on this stock, but again, that was down here. No, not even down here. Sorry, down at 220 is where it was. So that's why we're not in that one. And then again, man, I was all over Peloton the last couple of days, and nothing. Oh, the market now on rally mode as we get out of our Disney. That's fine. But look at Roblox, guys. The strong name here just continues. The name, the sticky note monster, Roblox today. Guys, hit the like button. Only 1 minute left. Let's see if we can get, like, we have over 6,000 people watching. Let's see if we can get this to like 2.5K right now on the like button. We've asked twice today. That's it. Twice I've asked. So let's see if we can get that up a little bit more there for that. That would be great. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, interesting on PaySafe, Sean. It was actually pre-market this morning, they reported. So the call was, looks like 8:30. But yeah, I mean, there was zero reaction to the report whatsoever, but nice move back up. Anyways, for PaySafe.
That's crazy.
Neil just said it says tomorrow.
I know, like I looked it up and it's like NASDAQ.com said it was tomorrow, but whatever.
Okay, yeah, what it doesn't matter.
I mean, it is what it is. Brendan's right. Like,
I mean, it's up 5% today. The volume's 2.5%. So that would make sense that they did report up 5. So I don't know if you guys have that or not, but how many Sean's on the screen? Yeah, that was funky, right? We're doing that. I've just tasked Tim and Lucas. We've already talked about this. We are working on something for the like button, but it kept screwing up the board. So we will do that. But thank you so much. There it is, man, 2.5. So thank you so much for that. Always great to have all of your input. We love the show, obviously. And wow, there goes Roblox. And there goes, guys, something is wrong with Microsoft. So just attention to that. Attention for Arun and Prad. If you want to look at Microsoft, if the market continues to tank, this is relatively weak. Like, it's just continuing to make moves down. So that could be a one to look at for the short side of things. But hey, today, as Ice Cube says, was a good day. So thank you for watching. And Neil, let's wrap this bad boy up.
Absolutely. If you saw me looking off screen, it's because I was trying to pay for shorts in Sava, and it just dropped like $3. I think that one's going to be a mover. You just saw Brennan bring the news there. It's midday show for you guys. It's still Trader Prad and Arun. Ms. V will be back next week. Let's go get them.
Kill him.
Welcome back to the Arun and Trader Prad show. I am currently looking at Microsoft as Sean mentioned. Arun, what are you looking at?
A lot. We'll get to that. My screen is rather full.
I'll
No, not yet.
Okay.
We'll start with you, and then we'll go on to mine.
So I had a pretty bad day to start off with. Transparency. I'll be honest. I started off with a horrible trade on Twilio.